We're going to go ahead and dive right in today, just with a few announcements right at the top. For one, thank you to our sponsor, Party Loot, which is now updated to its newest version with full VTT integration for Foundry as well as a Discord app. Those two things are only available if you purchase a subscription for Party Loot. So be sure to check that out in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the description of the Twitch channel. And if you like Party Loot, be sure to subscribe to it. Also, there is no Ryan this week. He's off gallivanting in some far off corner of the United States of America. Hopefully he's having fun. But he will not be here this week. He will be here the next time you play, though, so that's good, right? So let's go ahead and dive right in. Picking up where we left off, as is tradition here in Roll with Advantage, it is not I that does the summary, it's a player. And this week, since Ryan is not here, Kayla will be doing the summary. Kayla, whenever you're ready.
Hello.
Take it away.
That is me. All right, Act 1, Chapter 18, Family, Reunited. The airship Elendara's Promise arrives in Skyhaven carrying King Talon in the King's Hand. As the ship prepares to dock, Talon gathers his children and speaks of unity, how it is crucial that they present themselves as one family, one force in the days ahead. The kingdom watches, he reminds them, questioning whether the King's Hand can truly work together. For the duration of the Sentinel Festival, they must stand side by side. Upon disembarking, they are greeted by Lady Blackthorn, alongside 5 of the 7 individuals who will compete for the Sentinel. The siblings agree to host a dinner once all the candidates arrive. Each candidate brings unique strengths to the competition that will unfold over the coming week. With 2 days remaining before the festival begins, the King Hand disperses to make final preparations. For the first time, Octavia meets her uncle from her mother's side, while Edwin is at last reunited with his wife Astrid and their daughter Freya. After 12 years of secrecy, the Falkrest family finally gets the opportunity to meet them. The joy of this meeting reinforces for everyone why their mission matters so deeply, protecting Edwin's family from the spy master's dark intentions. Yet with the festival looming, they agree to postpone confronting Davian until they can speak with both the High King and their father. The siblings host a dinner for all 7 candidates: Bjorn Oldblood of the Serpent's Grove, Lord Garrett Greenmire of the Lowlands, Brenna Stonehill, Ranger of the Wilds, Victor Bloodmoon of Maldaris, Thalia, oh gosh, can't pronounce her last name, of Elysia, Seraphina Loomis of the Sanctum of Mercy, and Astarius Voidwalker of the Astral Sea. During this dinner, the siblings begin to scratch the surface of the individuals and learn more about their motivations and their personalities. That evening, Merrick makes a startling discovery. He learns that Landor, Lady Marian's son, is revealed to be Rainier's son, a secret that only she knew, but now Merrick knows, and she grants him permission to share this revelation to the siblings, but requests the honor of telling Talon about his nephew himself when the time is right. Dawn breaks and the Sentinel Festival begins. Each candidate steps forward to address the crowd, introducing themselves with speeches that reveal both their strengths and ambitions. The first challenge is announced, and there will be a fast from dawn until dusk throughout the entire festival, testing each candidate's restraint and ability to resist temptation. 6 days remain, with 6 more challenges ahead. The question that hangs in the air is whether the King's Hand can maintain their unity, or if the trials ahead will test more than just the Sentinel candidates. Dun dun dun.
Thank you.
That's it.
So much.
I did
for
my
that
best.
for that
Not
wonderful
Ryan,
summary. No, great job. However, before we pick up right there is one moment that I do want to go back and visit. As we are going to go back to when all of you entered the guests' dining hall within Skyhaven. So let me go ahead and move us there. Skyhaven Festival. So, as all of you walked into this room, Edwin's attention, as well as the vast majority of the party, was on the High King of the Nornathi and his adopted daughter, Astrid, as well as the other warriors and Kingsguard for the High King of the Nornathi. However, Octavia, on the other half of the room, your attention is drawn elsewhere as you see individuals that match the cloth and description of those of the birthplace of your mother, of Alicia. So, as you look to that side, sort of studying those individuals, you see one person in particular sort of look up and their eyes shoot wide. They are a man who looks deceitfully young, but as he stands up and as he begins to approach, you can start to see the age on his face. You can see the little wrinkles in the corners of his eyes or the laugh marks, maybe the few sproutings of gray hairs on the side of his head. But other than that, I mean, looks so incredibly young in face and in form. An individual that you aren't familiar with, but he seems to be familiar with you. So before all of you are able to head off and speak with the High King of the Nornathi, this individual approached specifically towards Octavia. And I will go ahead and share his image once more. Observer, image, share. Andros Alcides. As he approaches and says, "My eyes must deceive me. This is none other than my niece, Octavia. We have never had the pleasure of meeting, but I am Andros. I am your uncle. I am your mother's brother from Alicia."
Oh my gosh. Hi. And she's going to like try and like remember what she's supposed to do when she meets somebody from their culture.
Yeah.
And she's like gonna like awkwardly, she's gonna start to curtsy, but then stop and then like go in for a hug and then be like,
"No, it's
she's gonna
fine.
be like,
A hug is fine. Please, please, please,
okay.
please." And he will.
Okay, yeah, she'll scoop up into his arms.
Yeah, it's a very like brief, like tight hug and then a release. It's very strange. It's very like instant. And he sort of pulls
like
back.
okay.
Yeah, and like hands on your shoulder and says, "It is just so good to finally be able to meet you. Your mother,
I feel the same way.
She does send her regards and sadness that she could not be here. Her
That's okay.
responsibilities were elsewhere, but she does miss you dearly. And when she has the opportunity, she plans to return to Udaria."
Okay, that would be lovely to see her soon. But
Yes.
what brought you?
Well,
this is the first time over here, or?
Yes. I have. Well, I've always wanted to come to Udaria. It has been a place, especially ever since the marriage between your father and my sister. It's always been somewhere I've wanted to see, but, well, we received your letter, and your mother, she didn't want no representation of Alicia, so our father decided to send me as well as several others, and it only made sense since one of our own, Thalia, was competing. We decided to escort her here.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I could not say no to the opportunity to finally being able to meet my niece. Oceans divide us. But family is family, and it is important to know family, to see them, to meet them, even if you have to cross 100 oceans to do so.
I agree. I've always wanted to head to Alicia. Well, how long are you guys going to be here for the entire festival then?
Yes, for the entire festival, to see it from completion, from start to finish, and maybe even a little bit longer. And I know there is a business that I have heard of with an organization that you are a part of. And I apologize so greatly. I realize now that all of you must be said organization. The King's Hand, correct? Looking to the rest of the siblings.
And these are all of my siblings. So, and she'll introduce each of them by name.
Andros will hug all of you the same way that he hugged Octavia. It seems customary.
So, but yeah, I mean, we have like a lot going on here, but I would love just to be able to like sit with you and maybe we can have like a little family, like a smaller, more intimate family dinner at some point. That would be very nice.
I would love to. I also have a few things that I needed to discuss with the king as well. So perhaps well, I don't want to just say the three of us, perhaps all of us could sit down for
All of us have
dinner
be
together.
wonderful. I would love to have as much of my family together as possible. That would, oh, my heart feels like it's about to like fly out of my chest. Okay.
I have always been a big believer that it is not just blood that binds family together, but intention, will, experience, and if you all are Octavia's family, then by that extension, I view you as family.
And looking at him, obviously she, knows her mother pretty well. Does she see like the resemblance with them, or is it kind of because he's not an heir
Correct.
genasi, is he?
Yeah. No, he is not.
Yeah.
You see the resemblance in the face shape, the nose shape, the eye shape. The similarities are there, but it seems as though your mother was at least as far as you're seeing from him, maybe your mother was the anomaly. And she was gifted this sort of connection to the wind that Andros was not.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, let's definitely organize that. I'd love to hear more about Alicia and even how my mom's doing and just get to know you better.
And I would love to share every single detail with you, but it seems as though you have quite a day ahead of you preparing for the festival tomorrow, so I will let you get back to it. But whenever you want, I am at your whim, princess.
Thank
And,
you.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to not completely just be overwhelmed, but I am with just happiness. I'm so
Let
glad you
yourself feel
came.
the emotions. When we get old, we get tired, and it's harder to feel them so vibrantly. Feel them all now, as best you can. You will long for it one day. Well, it was
Thanks.
wonderful finally meeting you, Octavia, and the rest of you. Good luck in your preparations.
And he will give you a hug, Octavia, the same way, and then one more to each one of you, and depart back to his table. All right.
Flip around to your siblings.
Well, he seems nice.
So nice. I've been kind of afraid to meet them for a while, but like they seem like they want to know me, us. That's cool, right? I didn't know that they wanted to as
Very.
well.
Well, that's wonderful.
And then we
All right.
meet
And then, yeah, we cut there.
the king.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
What were you going to say? Nope. Speak it plain, child.
I don't know. I don't know. Caitlin's suspicious of everybody. Was there anything weird about that interaction? Like, did it seem like he was genuine in everything he was saying?
Yeah. Make an insight
okay,
check.
no. I will. I won't.
I mean, as far as you can tell, yeah.
Ooh.
He just seemed very genuinely
Alright.
excited to finally be able to meet his niece. All right.
I believe you.
Cool. So with that, we cut back to the future. Well, I will say, Felicity, was there anything Octavia would have done specifically when meeting Freya? I don't know if you had anything planned for that. Or if she just kind of would have been excited.
I think she just would have been excited.
Okay.
Maybe she would have like over time I think actually I did have like some sort of like gift thing, maybe that Edwin had given her, one of the many gifts that he had brought back to her. I think she would, give one to Freya and be like, this is something your dad got me, so I'm gonna give it to you. I used to play with it when I was really young. Maybe you still, wait, how old is she again? She's not super young. She's like teenager.
She is 11. Fuck.
11 or
Okay.
12?
11,
Hold on.
yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
so
allowed to not
preteen.
know my fake daughter's age, all right?
It's okay, I know her age. Oh.
That was at 13.
Okay,
11.
so yeah, she's like preteen. So she'll give her something that, a preteen person still
Okay.
would like. But
Yeah.
um,
She loves
and
it.
besides that, she's just overly excited to be an ant.
Yeah,
So-
there's a bit between like Freya and Octavia where they're just kind of like yelling back and forth at each other, super excited.
yeah.
Okay. All
Same
right.
person.
Same person. So with that, pause and stop. And we will go ahead and cut back to where we were, which is the courtyard. As all of the participants within the Sentinel Festival, they each got on that sort of central platform and they announced their intention. They announced what they wanted to do. And Lady Marianne Blackthorn announced the first trial, a fast every day from dawn until dusk. If any individual is found eating food during that dawn to dusk period, they will be eliminated. So, now this one, just so you guys know, this is a skill challenge that I'm going to do for each participant on the day of. And it's a constitution check, constitution saving throw, I should say. If they fail, they are going to try and eat something, and then I'll make a stealth check for them. That stealth check has to beat a DC, or else they are discovered, and then it'll be up to you guys to decide what to do then. All right?
Jeez, spicy.
Yep. So day one, let's start off these rolls strong. Why did I get disconnected? Oh, that's why I got disconnected. I had 2 Forge instances open at the same time. Okay. Let me... And... Alright, let me roll these initial checks now.
It'd be funny if someone gets out on the first day.
Wouldn't that
That's
be really
sad.
funny? It is a
Nat
very
one.
low DC on the first day, so God, I hope not. All right,
I just imagine just one nat one, and then just out, you know?
all right, here we go. All right, Brenna. All right, yeah, this is the game right here tonight, guys. That's
Making public rolls.
There's gonna be, well, this one's specifically a secret. I don't want you guys to know if they eat, and then if they get away with
it. Much metagame.
it.
Good metagame.
Not with this, no. All right. That's really funny. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, thanks. Well, tell you what. We're going to play that where it lies for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
They all fail. We get no sentinel.
Imagine.
All right,
We
well,
have to
Xanthi,
settle.
the weeks of planning, we'll have to do this again.
Okay. Alrighty, cool.
Tallest tower here.
So there we go.
Probably
those-
our keep.
Those rolls have been made. When either if somebody gets caught, if they do eat, or at the end of the festival, I'll let you guys know how many people failed and ate during the day.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, with that, the rest of the day is yours, as this first day is just the announcing of the fasting, and that way all the participants have to focus on, or all the competitors have to focus on, is just not eating. But this is when the temptation is most strong. They have nothing to do during the day, whether it be staying in Skyhaven or going down to the city in Seahaven, seeing all of the different festivities that are there, the players, the performers, all that good stuff. So, my question to all of you is, on this first day, are there any of the individuals, the competitors, or any NPCs that you wanted to talk to, or any conversations you wanted to have independently with each other as you're sort of moving through this festival on the first day as a unit?
I mean, it wouldn't be whilst they're as a unit, probably like in the evening or something, but Xanthi did want to talk to the
Okay, all right, sounds good. So we'll say that as you guys are moving throughout the courtyard, doing various politicking, still together as a unit, right? Because you're still in the same area. But, you know, Kaylin, Edwin, and Merrick, they're all off sort of talking with other people with your uncle showing up as well as meeting your niece. It has been a lot of overwhelming feelings. So you're kind of hanging back maybe a little bit. And you and Xanthi are able to kind of find a moment where it's just the two of you in this one corner where the two of you can chit chat.
Must be nice meeting your uncle.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's kind of strange that, you know, all I had to do was reach out and then they showed, right? Like, I guess I always was directly, telling mom, like, hey, I have this going on, XYZ, but or maybe it's because it's like a festival King's Hand kind of thing. I'm not sure, but they just have been such a mystery to me. And I learned a little bit more about Elysian culture from Dad recently, but also he's very afraid of things. So I don't know how much of it's actually true or even like the extent of some things. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I had things kind of hyped up a little too high in my mind. They're just people who want to also live and meet their family,
No, it's good. It's just, I'm sorry that it wasn't your mother that was the one to come.
Yeah. That's a little hard, but I kind of knew she wasn't going to come,
And if family was such a virtue that they've upheld, as your uncle seems to rattle on about, it's unfortunate that she did not seem to see it the same way.
Well, I don't think it's that she doesn't like value family. It's just it is a really long trip. I mean, I've never even done it, so I can't really, fault anyone. I've never gone, so I don't even know the extent of everything and how exhausting it must be, or even like, what they have for her to do. I don't want to, like make myself upset when I don't know, really any details at all. And I'm sure he'll tell me more of why, she's so busy, once we have a little bit more like time to like sit down and talk,
And so not upset at all then? It's good to hear you're taking it well, at least.
I mean, I don't know, with some of the information our dad told me about maybe why my mom hasn't come back. I don't know all the details or why she had to leave in the first place, but I don't know if I'm ready to hear if it's actually something upsetting. So in a way, this is like I don't know if the word is, relieving, but there's just been so much going on and I don't know if I'm ready to know all the answers yet, I guess. Living in a little bit of blissful ignorance, maybe.
All right. But you do plan on speaking to your uncle about it, yes?
Apparently, my mom left because of a vision she had, which is the same vision that I had on the boat that ended up making me go unconscious. Or I had the full vision and she had a piece of it, I think. And there's something about oracles in Elysian culture that I don't fully understand or Dad. So trying to decide if I should say something or if I should just try and pry out as much information as I can from my uncle and maybe puzzle piece a little bit. I don't know
Well, I mean,
what...
if your mother was... Was she someone that was able to see visions?
According to Dad, she never had before, but she was pregnant with me when she did. So I don't know if it was something that is now a consistent thing for her, or if it was me having a vision before I was born.
Well, I don't see why it would be a bad thing either way, yes? I feel that Alicia, well, seems to honor, or praise at least, their oracles. Such a connection wouldn't be a bad thing.
Dad said something about not wanting to lose me, which is why he wanted me to suppress a lot of my visions and any divination. Maybe Dad does know stuff. Actually, you know what? Most likely, he's literally a politician and cunning and knows how to, like, give out as much information as he feels fit. So maybe he does know. Maybe he knows exactly why or what their culture needs or wants from diviners, but
Why would it lead
it
to
just...
losing you, though, Octavia?
I don't know. And that's the thing, if I find out from Andros, would that add another element that we have to deal with? You know? And there's so much going on, and we've got Edwin's family to pay attention to. We could just focus on here, what matters in our country.
I don't really know what you're getting at, but if it is something involving her as well, that still makes it important, Octavia. If there is something greater keeping her away than just, well, her own desire to maintain her responsibilities, that is something important.
So
If she
you
was
want
not
me to ask him?
free to choose to come, that is something we should know.
I guess she is still our queen too, so it does pertain to, you know.
Pertains to you as well, though, Octavia.
I know.
Girl deserves to have her mother.
And she's gonna look, like, up at you and just kind of, like, smile and then give you a hug around your waist, Xanthi.
But, like you said, at least your uncle seems to be a good person, and hopefully that does mean that whatever is happening, you can get clear answers from him.
I hope so. I wonder if he's maybe wanting to resolve some stuff, you know? Maybe whatever our dad was afraid of, you know, way back when I was born isn't as much of a thing anymore, or I don't know. It's kind of hard to, like, have a full opinion on it. It's just the fear of the unknown. Like, what if it is something, like, bad? And then I open that can of worms, and now we have to deal with this can when we have the other 17 cans that are open and worms are wiggling all over the place, you know?
Yes, well, you do seem to be very good at opening cans, it seems, lately. But if he wishes to speak with Talon, and also if we are to have further discussions with him, I'm sure we'll be able to get answers then.
Yeah. And having you guys with me might, help, because then you guys can hear, hopefully, everything, and he doesn't hide anything because he's talking to the whole family.
Hopefully.
I think it'd be better to have you guys there in case I miss something, because sometimes I get overwhelmed and just, you know me.
I do. But still, you should feel free to spend time with him as well. Not feel so
I
bound
want
to
to.
when we are having more official meetings.
Yeah, I'll try and prioritize that.
Good.
Thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate it.
Well, you're my little sister. It's a responsibility.
You're the best.
You're pretty good yourself.
I know, I'm the
But-
best.
We still have other arrangements we need to make today. Won't spend all day chatting.
I mean, we could chat all day. No, I know.
But we shouldn't.
Let's
Octavia.
go be responsible. We're like the hand of we're the king's hand, so, handy dandy.
All right.
Yes.
So with that, the two of you head back out into the
Return to group.
into the courtyard, and you mingle a little bit with other politicians that are here, as well as other lords and ladies, and some of the contestants as well. Just small talk as the day progresses. As we move back to festival. So as you guys are sort of making your way throughout the courtyard, eventually these sort of groupings split off. A lot of the higher nobility, as well as those contestants that are more comfortable with nobility, like Garrett and Victor, as well as Serafina, they sort of head into the courtyards and the various interiors of the keep, while the other contestants head off into the Sea Haven, right in that city beneath. So Brenna, Bjorn, as well as, interestingly enough, Astarius and Thalia head off into Sea Haven. So my question to all of you is, in terms of the rest of your day, do you want to spend it kind of split between the two, mostly in Sea Haven, mostly in Sky Haven? What do you want to do?
Well, Edwin is the Prince of the Pauper, so he's going to go down into Sea Haven, and I think he's going to actually, I don't know, he's just going to try to connect with the people, and like he normally does. He doesn't, when in these scenarios, doesn't really seem or like think of himself as royalty, so he's just kind of chilling with the people.
Okay. So that means everybody else is following
take
Edwin
it,
down into Sea
definitely.
Haven.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're still staying as a unit, right? Or is that just when we're like dealing with contestants?
Oh yeah, we can say it's unit. Sorry, I was just, yeah.
Unit to the sea.
All right.
See unit, go.
Kaylin, you had something specific?
Sea unit.
No, yep, I'll just go with.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. I think it was we started speaking at the same time, so.
No, it's okay. My Discord's also like showing everyone speaking at a delay, so I didn't know if I was just coming at a delay as well.
Yeah, it keeps dropping to yellow. I keep seeing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
What's
so it's
happening?
not just me, Lamau, okay. Pick it up,
Oh yeah,
Lord.
mine is also yellow.
It's been
Okay.
happening for like 2 days actually. red.
I thought it was just my internet level.
It's just
You know,
Discord.
it's been
Well,
happening
that's
for like
always
2 days.
a relief when it's just Discord.
Nice.
Well, I mean, what I was gonna say was like, I guess since we're staying together as a group, I mean, regardless, Kaylin, is going to bring some of her supplies and like there's a lot of people down here, right? So like she will start offering people like little healing charms and like little tokens to help them sleep better at night. Like she'll do some crafting for some people if anyone's interested.
Ooh, I'm interested.
I mean, she'll definitely show you how to like help make some stuff for peeps. Have our own little pop-up craft booth, you know.
Love it. And then as Octavia is like yapping with people, if there's somebody who's like, oh, something that they need guidance for the future or anything like that, she'll do a little.
Dude, hell, yeah.
Sit
we
here,
have
I'll
a
read your
virtual booth.
poems.
Yeah, whatever she's
You
done.
see this
like
line
in-
that's really long right here?
like when she was at Arkenvale and helped like some of the outer little like hamlets and everything around there. Like if someone brings up that they're like, should I plant my crop this week? She'll be like, no. Or yes. I don't know.
Okay, fantastic.
Could be fun.
So
We're going into winter, so I imagine the answer will be no.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's just the example I had, Xanthi.
Bad example, trash.
A bad example.
Edwin also, while we're out and about, is looking for something to get Freya and something to get Astrid. Astrid specifically some sort of like jewelry, but jewelry made out of like natural things. Like I'm not trying. Well, I guess everything
Only
jewelry's
for your
made out
wife.
of is technically natural. All right,
Yeah.
don't come at me with specifics, logistics. I don't know. You know, like jade beaded, like or
you know-
like
Man,
you
so
know,
your sister's
feathers and-
sitting right
yeah.
here making shit. That's her
Hmm.
fucking thing.
Hmm.
Don't ask her for anything. It's fine.
Don't know. Not that in particular, Kaylin, but thanks. I'd like it to be something.
One of my fucking chop liver. Okay.
I just don't know if they'd like Serpent's Grove stuff. Oh.
Damn.
Okay, well, it's more so to get her a trinket from the place they live. But okay.
No, for sure.
No. Kaylin will remember that.
Kaylin sees you walk into a jewelry
Oh.
store and prepares a list of charms to cast so you don't sleep very well.
What does that doll look like me, Caitlin?
Mm.
And why is it stabbed in the eye?
Meanwhile, Edwin's like got my match. Okay, anyway, so you all have a little bit of something you'd like to do. Kaylin and Via, the two of you were kind of able to set up right next to each other. There's an empty stall that you can see somebody was packing up their supplies, as they were one of the shop owners in town, and they waved the two of you to please use it if you'd like, so that we have kind of like a little thing set up. And immediately a crowd starts to gather as the king's hand is here within Sea Haven, and the whispers begin to spread throughout the town already that this is kind of interesting. And you can see a couple of the Crown Claw Knights stand guard at the post. They're not going to let you guys, go somewhere without the protection. Edwin, as you walk into that sort of jewelry store to purchase that small little sort of trinkety necklace, there's a Crown Claw Knight that escorts you in as well. There's just too many people here from too many places to let them out of your sight. Merrick would just stay by the for right now, he would just stay by the stall that the two of you were at, kind of try and look like a guard, look a little tough, sort of keeping an eye out, trying to make sure that nothing's going to attack two of his sisters. What is Xanthi doing in this time?
So Xanthi, unlike everyone else here, doesn't really care that much about these povers down here.
Surprise!
And so I imagine, her interest would more so be kind of touching base with the kind of local guard here. Just, if there's anything that is a concern, especially with the festival going on, just getting a better kind of just understanding of what's happening, if there's anything that should be a concern, and just, general things like that.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll break things down in reverse order. As Xanthi, you talk to the guard captain of Sea Haven, specifically Gwyneth, as she says to you, "Well,
Princess, I must say thank you very much for even coming to ask. Things are a little tense down here, especially, well, it was a couple weeks ago by now, but in the dregs there was some gang violence that's put some people on edge. And I made the reports up to Skyhaven, but it seems as though just another thug dying wasn't exactly something they wanted to investigate all that much, but it was just strange, I suppose. He was, like a leaf fallen off a tree, dried up, like moisture had been wicked from his body. That has made some people on edge, some of the natives, thinking that with all these travelers, there might be, might be one of these foreigners, you know. So if there is anything Skyhaven could provide and some extra strength of arms, I see the Crown Claw Knights, and that helps soothe quite a bit, but they can't stay down here after all you leave. So if there is anything that Skyhaven could provide, that would be quite helpful in quelling some of the anxieties.
Well, we can certainly see what we can do, especially if we are going to have participants and spectators coming down here as well. I should not like to hear anything of them being, well, endangered in any way. Although I must say that case you were speaking on did not exactly seem like typical gang violence. Has anything similar to it ever happened before here?
No, that's why it was quite the anomaly. And I reported it, but unless it's backed up in various reports, nothing's come of it yet.
And you have no leads or any clue as to what would have happened?
No. We found some of his gang members, some of his companions that he was typically seen around with, but they won't say a word, not a peep. They have a look in their eye, like they've seen something, but they dare not speak it.
Interesting. Well, if it should become further problem, I believe it would be a good thing to be, well, passed on.
Of course.
If nothing is done through Skyhaven, then perhaps to us as well, as the hand of the king.
Of course. I'll be sure to
And
submit another
as
report, just in
I-
case it got lost.
And in case you are not already aware, we are currently in the process of expanding the current guardship we have across Adaria. Perhaps there could be further resource allocation to ensure that there are no problems or issues with any of the gangs here as well.
Fantastic. I had heard something about the Adarian Watch being expanded. Good. I will, well, if any can be placed in Sea Haven, it would be most appreciated.
Well, you're at the foothill of the home of House Falcrest. It would only be proper for it to be secured, unlike its current state.
And it would be it is my greatest honor to serve that of House Falcrest. She gets a bow on her head.
Ah, but yeah, there's nothing else particularly. It just
Okay.
continued kind of yapping, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So, chatting back and forth, getting some more mundane things. That definitely seemed to be the most exciting thing, though, that she has to offer. Then we will cut to the two younger girls of House Falcrest, Octavia and Kaylin, as the two of you are currently at your shared stall. As Octavia, you are doing various readings, and Kaylin, you are doing various, jewelry selling or small bits of crafting in the moment. It's very easy for you to sort of whip out a ring or even like a small sort of bone charm amulet or wrist jewelry bracelet. There we go.
That's what those are called.
And
I will say, like, Kaylin, I don't know, just trying to get a laugh out of Via.
Mhm.
And because Kayla's not just a sad emo girl all the time. She has charisma. She's going to like step in front of her booth. Hold on, what do I have? I have magic. Boodly doodly.
Boodly doodly.
Yeah, with like
Level 1 spell slot. I'm gonna cast boodly
prestidigitation.
doodly.
Hell yeah. No. With her cantrip, prestidigitation.
Oh.
And like with Samson, she's gonna make like little green sparks fly around Samson, and she's gonna say, "Come one, come all. Would you like your fortunes read? Would you like a trinket to ward off the fear of the night? We aim to please." And she's like doing a little bow, and she's doing a little jig with Samson and making little sparkles happen around her and Via.
So
Okay.
cute.
I don't know if anyone's coming, but
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yes.
Via will also put like she'll cast light on their sign, so it's like a glowing neon sign.
Hell yeah.
Fortunes and
You're giving
trinkets!
those Undercity vibes right now. The Undercity of Crowns Rising.
Undercity is also, it makes me think of like the palm reading thing in like a back alley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
That's us.
So people
They're
walk
so
by and they go,
cute.
God. But definitely, I mean, people were already gathering because you are two of the princesses of the realm. But now, I mean, people are like, oh shit, they're not just princesses, they're kind of cool too. As more people start to gather interested.
So cool.
Okay. So, Octavia, you begin to, read various fortunes. Nothing too intense, right? You're not actually like truthfully delving into that powerful divination magic that you've learned you have access to. These are just small things, glimpses, reading palms, maybe, rolling some goat bones, seeing how they land,
Yeah, you should totally break up with him, and that's not even like seeing the future. It's just he's a complete asshole, and
You
she's like,
think so?
"Oh, I don't need to look at anything.
No.
You're too pretty for him. Run,
Oh.
be free."
Okay, I will. So he goes to break up with his boyfriend. However, Octavia, one of the contestants does approach to have his fortune foretold, as you see Bjorn of the Serpent's Grove step up. And he says,
I heard that they were reading fortunes. I always thought would be interesting to know my future. What
Oh,
need
yeah.
from me?
All right, so here's what we need to do. First, so you just want your future. Let's be more specific. Career, family, or love?
One seemed wrong to ask you. Many seem wrong to ask young girl. You say job, love, and what was other?
Family.
Let's do family.
All right, here we go. So, do you have any sentimental item that you carry with you connected to your family? That would be a much more helpful start.
Yes. Yes.
Could I see that?
Oh, yes.
he reaches in, and he pulls
I
out
love
what looks to be a small twig with a braid of hair sort of tied to it.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, she'll take that in her right hand, and then she'll reach out and be like, "May I hold your hand as well?"
Yes.
Okay,
Got
and then
these
she'll take his
massive-
hand.
Very calloused, like
Yeah.
paws.
She has like little
Yeah, it's like
princess
so
hand.
little delicate.
Maybe it has a little bit of ink on it from right. All right, and then I mean, I don't really have anything to cast with this. I think she will just try and like tune into the weave and just kind of like feel any sort of like energy that she can hone, almost like being a channel between the twig and Bjorn, and see if there's anything in the weave with any sort of answer. Maybe it's like, what is that, woe and way or
Woe and wheel,
yeah.
but wheel is spelled
Yeah, that's the one.
W-E-A-L. Yeah. So go ahead and make an intelligence check because that is your spellcasting modifier, and this will determine how much I give you versus how much. What was that?
I don't know. Kaylin's just side-eyeing the whole time. She's just being nosy while talking to someone else.
Fair.
Depending on this roll,
dare he.
it'll be
Oh no!
how much I give you.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, tune in into the weave. There's not much you get, Octavia. It's up to you to improvise this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Do I know anything about his family to start?
Nope.
Kaylin, have you talked about his family? Oh.
Has Kaylin even seen this little twig thing that he's pulled out before?
Nope, never.
Her face is blank. Sorry, big dog.
All right, it's okay. Let me see if I've got anything in my back pocket. Oh. Yes. Okay, this might be bad, but could she do the whole look at his face and try and peer into the whatever thing she can do?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with his family. It's just his trauma or something. Said she's getting nothing. She's like, I gotta come up with something. I can't be a fraud. She got desperate.
Okay, I will message you what you see, Felicity.
Okay. As she's first doing, before she starts to do that, she's like, one moment, can I look into my eyes? As she like leans in closer to him.
He goes,
She's trying.
yes.
He's regretting it already. Hold on, Tibbity is eating something and I do not understand what it is. Why do you have to do this She's just eating plastic. Awesome.
Classic.
Why?
Classic.
Why? I have food right there. No.
All right.
No.
I spelled that word wrong?
Sorry, I hope this is
There you
as
go.
entertaining as D&D for everybody since you're seeing me say no to my rabbit multiple times over and over. Okay. Sorry, let me read this.
All right.
I'm sorry. I need to process this.
Yep. So I was silent for a little bit. Now
Okay,
Felicity
so-
is, so I'll vamp. Okay, no, never mind.
I think I got this. Okay. She's
Okay.
gonna like lean back after getting the vision. Do you feel trapped by your family currently? Like a responsibility that you feel like you can't shake? Or is it the Serpent's Grove?
Not trapped, no, but duty, promise,
Well,
an oath.
well, I don't know all the... And she'll like give him the twig back as she's starting to like, and let his hand go and everything. Not sure everything that is tied to your oath. But I think in regards to yourself, maybe potentially your family, if they want happiness for you, try to give back to yourself more often. And that could lead to a brighter future rather than a darker one.
Interesting. I will reflect on this. Thank you, Princess.
And as soon as he's out of earshot, she's gonna be like, I have to tell you what I saw to Kaylin.
As soon as he leaves, Kaylin's gonna be like, "What did you see?"
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now, Kaylin, because when they have a moment, she's gonna whisper it into your ear. Where's Kayla? There we go.
Are we all together
There you
still?
go.
Kind
No, we're at the
of.
stall.
Yeah, well, you guys are
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
like
okay.
within like a
Like separately together.
like a 30-foot radius of each other. But this is definitely
Okay.
something that only the two of them would hear.
Yeah, I wanna
As
know too.
Kaylin,
Hmm.
you can see approaching your stall an individual that you have only encountered one other time before. A tiefling man who is actually one of the caregivers of Rainier, Bishop Mellis. He sort of steps forward towards you, Caitlin, and says,
Excuse me, I had heard that you were selling or giving away trinkets of the Serpent's Grove. Is that correct?
Oh, well, I am crafting trinkets from the Serpent's Grove, giving them a small enchantment or some type of runic blessing, and, well, curing small ailments. Is there something I can do for you? Surely someone like yourself wouldn't need anything like this.
Well, I know it might sound strange, but I find that regardless of all the healing magic I might have, the hardest thing to get rid of is a migraine, and no amount of healing energy can seem to get that, but there have been individuals I've met from the Serpent's Grove who've been able to remove them instantaneously. I know
Oh,
it sounds strange,
suppose
but
I-
with all the festivities, I'd love if you could try.
Sure, I there's a couple things that I know that I could do. Just give me one moment. Now, Kayla doesn't trust this bitch, but Kaylin has no reason not to, right? Like, he hasn't done anything weird.
no, in
That
fact,
we have
he's,
seen.
he's
Meadow,
only been
you
helpful
know?
to Rainier, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Kaylin is going to then just grab her mortar and pestle that she keeps in her little pouch and crushing up a couple of different dried plants, maybe a small bone or two, and then she'll kind of mix it together and put it in like a little tea bag pouch, and she'll hand it to him. Here you go. If you just drink this once every day, should keep a migraine away.
And
But
I
you'll
don't-
have to come back for more. And she'll like throw him a wink.
And I don't have to pay for this at all?
No, I'm not really selling anything. This is more just of a service.
A gift.
Well, yeah. And the Serpent's Grove, we don't really charge for things. They're just a gift or an act of service for someone in need.
well, I simply cannot allow that. As you see, he tucks it into his robe, and he sets down a very distinct gold coin on the table and will slide it to you. It's not of the mint of Adaria. In fact, Kaylin, you're not exactly sure what nation this is from, but then he says,
This is a coin of the Church of Unity. I know, being of the Serpent's Grove, you might not think it necessary, but this right here, you can go to any high-ranking member of the Church of Unity, and they will help you resolve whatever issue you have free of charge.
Oh. Well, thank you. I don't know if this is really a fair trade.
Well, I find that nobility can be so rude. They can look down on people. And to see two of the heirs of this nation giving away their time freely when they could be schmoozing with the politicians above. I think that speaks a great deal about your character. But I would just like to say, and he kind of like loops you in too, Via, as he looks over to you. If the two of you could just forget that I was here, I would appreciate it. I have a duty to uphold and a post to uphold, but I had to see if the rumors were true. If the King's Hand willingly were spending their time in Sea Haven. So, just forget I was here, right?
Kaylin, like, looks at Via and just kind of raises a brow and then back to him. Well, sure, I mean, I don't really think it's that far-fetched to see us here. I don't think it'd be too far-fetched to see someone like yourself here, but forget I ever saw you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. He looks between the two of you, and he walks away.
That was weird, right?
Very strange. Oh, what do you mean?
Did you leave this here? Kind of picks up the coin.
Leave what here?
This.
No.
Oh. Okay, well, she kind of looks around. Maybe someone left it as a... Oh. This is so much information. Uh-huh. Kaylin's head hurts. She's gonna kind of like squint her eyes and blink, and then she's gonna put the coin in her pocket and just look at Via.
What is that? What'd you just put in your pocket?
Okay, she brings it back out. This is from the Church of Unity. And we can use it we can use it if we need assistance from them.
When did you get that?
Via, I thought you put it here. Why are you joking?
No, what?
What? Weren't we both just standing here right now and you put this on the table?
Kaylin, no, I did not. Are you feeling okay?
I feel fine. Are you feeling okay?
I feel great.
Okay, well, I guess we just have this now. Kind of holding it in her hand.
Yeah, you should tell Edwin about that. He might be able to, you know, pick out when we should use it and stuff.
Yeah, but that's strange.
Yeah, something's
Does
a little off.
Kaylin see anybody walking away or I mean, there's probably a fuck ton of people. That's a dumb question. Does anyone look suspicious?
Make a perception check. There's a lot of people here, and given the fact that you guys are in the city, a lot of people do look suspicious, but let's see if you see anybody out of the ordinary.
Hey, baby, dirty 20.
Let me send you a message.
Oh my god. I don't like what's happening right now.
There you go.
Is that person far, Joe?
About 20 feet away. I was just about to say that.
Okay. Under her breath, and not looking in the man's direction, Kaylin's gonna say, there is someone standing about 20 feet away, wearing robes of the Church of Unity. Do you think he put this here?
That would make the most sense, but when would he have done that?
I don't know. Do you think I should confront him, or do you think it was maybe a gift? Or should we just ask Edwin?
Let's just ask Edwin. I mean, well, I guess, is this like... It's not like money, right, Joe? It's just a coin.
Yep, it just pretty much will get you, I mean, like really powerful services like heal or like even like raise dead. Things like those from really high-ranking members, it will have that effect on them. And they will do that for you for free.
Oh, wow. Okay, we ask Edwin.
Let's ask Edwin, because it's, I guess, I don't know. He can help us, and then if we need to give it back to somebody, we can just go meet somebody and try and return it, you know?
Yeah. I think maybe we should close down for the night.
I agree. I think my gift is tired.
Alrighty. So with that, the two of you begin to sort of close up shop after having seen, probably 100, 200 people just in a row over the course of maybe 3 or 4 hours. We'll go ahead and cut to Edwin finally. As Edwin, you walk into a very small, homely jewelry store, and you're looking for some type of amulet, correct? Or necklace or bracelet. That is.
I mean, whatever they have, it needs to be natural. It needs to be like homemade. It needs to be something, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Edwin, you walk in and you can see there is this elderly Earth Genasi woman. You can see she has this skin like cracked dry soil, but she has these luxurious locks of deep green vines and leaves intertwined with hair. I mean, a beautiful head of hair, but you can see it seems as though that's where most of the moisture has went over the years. And she sort of smiles as you enter and says, "Well, if it isn't the Prince of the Popper. Prince Edwin, it's a great honor to have you in my shop. I must admit, I never would have anticipated one of the heirs to enter, but please, if there's anything I can help you find, I'd be more than happy to assist you."
Looking around, it is a beautiful shop. Good afternoon, by the way. Yes, I was looking for something jewelry in some semblance of made naturally, maybe made with jade stones or even the bones of animals, for someone special.
I think I have exactly what you're looking for. And you can see Edwin, one of the Crown Claw Knights, did enter with you, just to keep guard. Unless you would have asked him to stand outside, but otherwise he would have just followed you in.
I mean, yeah, it's fine if he follows me in.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, he follows you in, decked out in the Crown Claw Knight's garb. Just at alert, staring at the door, sort of scanning, making sure no threats come in. And she pulls out a few things for you to look at. And you can see all of them are very, very, very nice. They are all very simple. Nothing's too overstated. Everything's made from various things of twine. There is some nicer elements of sterling silver. But at the end of the day, it's more like rough cut and maybe sanded a bit, just so it doesn't cause any cuts or anything, of various garnets and jades. A lot of them use small pieces of polished wood as well. And there are some things that use small bits of animal bone as well, for additional decoration.
So Edwin's specifically not going to pick up. He's going to realize that the ones with animal bones is something Kalen can make. So he's not going to focus on those. Okay. He'll focus on the rough wood and stone and just kind of looking at it and pick up one of them and say, "How much would you charge for this?"
That one right there.
And do not worry about... Yes.
5 silver pieces.
For this. And he looks at it and says, surely you charge more.
No, I do this mostly for, just as a small way to make ends meet. I love what I do, and I know I could sell it for more, but, well, if it means that someone, regardless of if they're a prince or if they're the lowest among us, that they could still get something nice for someone they love, then I'm happy that I can help them afford that.
Well, I admire you. I would like to, if I could, pay at least 5 silver. 6 silver.
Of course, I'll never turn down more.
So, question, would we have gotten personal gold since our last time? Because Edwin is, I just realized, tapped out.
Yeah. If I didn't say it, you didn't get it.
Damn. Okay. He starts rummaging around in his pockets. Oh. Well, this is embarrassing. I seem to have left my coin pouch in Skyhaven.
You can see Sir Zorik Baylor, the Kingsguard that is with you. He turns around.
I'll cover the 5 silver, my prince.
No. It's fine. It's fine. No, please. I would feel horrible. We can just...
You see he reaches into his small coin purse and he sets down the 6 silver pieces. And he tightens it and wraps it up. You can see they wear fully covered face helms, so you see he just looks to you with this like wyvern shaped helm that's almost like a frog mouth, so it juts out a bit.
Yeah.
And you can see that you can just barely see his eyes through the slits as he just looks at you, and then he'll turn back to look towards the door.
Edwin just kind of whispers, I'll give you the coin back when we get back to the...
It is fine, my prince.
6 silver.
Ah, well. Very good. Thank you very much, Prince Edwin, as well as your kind Crown Claw Knight.
Yes, I do apologize for my rudeness for forgetting my coin pouch. I appreciate your business.
No. And
I will be sure to come back.
As the two of you are sort of having that conversation, Edwin, you hear coming through the door a man shouting. I knew you were here. They said you were in here. And as somebody comes in shouting, you can see already Sir Zorik has drawn his sword and is sort of pointing it at the man who enters shouting. And he's trying to move past Sir Zorik. And Edwin, you recognize this man. It was one of the thugs who tried to ambush you in that hall, or in that alleyway. And you can see he brandishes a knife and he starts running at you. You do anything? Because if not, Sir Zorik has taken him down.
I mean, if I could be cool, Edwin would remove the whip and wrap it around his foot and try to trip him.
Okay, yeah, sure. As he's running, Edwin, go ahead and roll for an attack with the whip.
I haven't used this weapon, so.
18. All right.
18.
18. So, Edwin, and your whip is faster than the Crown Claw Knight being able to... Well, he was just standing there waiting for the man to approach. Whips, grabs onto his ankle and pulls him out. The dagger flies out of his hand, lands clattering on the ground. And with that, Sir Zorik Baylor, he will move in and sort of put the sword up against his throat not going to stab and will call for the Adarian Watch. As you can see, 2 Adarian Watch move in from the outside, and they immediately sort of... Sir Zorik says,
hold on.
arrest him, take him to the keep for questioning.
Wait. No. Wait.
My prince, he tried...
No, it's fine. Please listen. Edwin is going to walk over and look down at him. Are you okay?
You?
If we could...
You're a monster.
So I don't know who or what is wrong, but we can talk about this.
You killed him. You killed him. You're a monster.
Sir, I don't think that you are right as of right now. Maybe we can go somewhere and talk about this.
My prince, I must insist that we take him to the dungeons immediately. He's clearly not in his right mind.
Right. But be gentle, please. As we have noticed, he is not of right mind. We should treat him such. He does not know what he is doing.
And he'll sort of look to the 2 Adarian Watch. Yes, please be gentle with the assassin. As the 2 of them sort of roll him over, they handcuff him, hoist him up, and they carry him out of the jewelry store. I will say,
Edwin turns around. Yeah.
as he is exiting, Kaylin and Xanthi and Merrick and Octavia, the 4 of you are able to see somebody shouting, and as you look over the same store that Edwin went into, you can see just moments later somebody being escorted out. So Edwin, there's a few moments before any of your siblings approach, as I'm assuming all of them would at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, Edwin spins around to the shopkeeper and goes, I am terribly sorry. I'm not sure what that was about, but we will figure it out. I'm so sorry for that. We will compensate you for...
Of course. In fact, shop's closing, as it's getting pretty late. Well, thank you for your business, but I'll ask you to leave now. It takes me a while to close up shop.
Again, yes, of course. I again, sorry about that.
Of course.
Thank you.
Please.
And he bows and steps outside.
And at that point, Sir Zorik is a lot more vigilant now, stepping out, scanning a lot more intently, and he'll whisper down to you, Edwin, I think it would be best if we return to the keep for the rest of the evening. As at that point, I'm assuming all of you would have approached the shop by that point.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So the 4 siblings
Edwin?
approach. Yeah.
Are you okay? What is going on?
I'm fine. Not entirely sure.
What's all that commotion?
Though
A man.
we should
came in
go
and
to the
tried to
keep,
stab
my
me.
princes and princesses. It seems as though we have overstayed our
Right.
welcome within
Yes.
Sea Haven. And you can see to the other 4 Crown Claw Knights that have moved in here with all of you, he gives a look to them, and it seems to be a very knowing look as all of them sort of tighten up at the ready. They become much more vigilant, and they move in closer to the 5 of you.
Yes, let's
Okay.
go.
Seems as guard captain has more than understated the problems with this place.
All right.
Everything's fine. Just please, let's just go.
What is
Everything's
evidently
fine.
not fine. There are known gangs to be down here anyways. There is danger here. Apparently man was drained of all life as well. We don't know what is down here.
I think we just go back and have a conversation. I think we've missed something clearly, Edwin.
All right. So with that, the 5 of you are escorted back to Skyhaven, and you'll be escorted back to a part of the keep where there currently are no guests. As the 5 of you are gathered there, the 5 Crown Claw Knights that escorted you down stay there with you. And you can see that one of the Crown Claw Knights leaves the room to spread the word between the other Crown Claw Knights that are here, as well as to inform Talon. And Edwin, you can try and stop them as you see them discussing as they're getting ready to leave, as you're inside this interior. Do you try to stop them from getting Talon? Or informing him, at least?
Yeah, I mean, Edwin goes over and says, look, I understand the severity of the situation, but the king is very, very busy. This is a matter that the hand can figure out.
You see,
Do not worry.
Sir Zorik at that point kind of removes his helm and tucks it underneath his armpit. You can see an older man, gray at the sides, kind of pointed but rounded ears, half elven, says, "My prince, I must insist. In fact, I believe that this oversteps the king's hand's boundaries and jurisdiction. There was an attempt at your life. Had I not been there, who knows what would have happened? Not only is this an assault against the king's hand, but it's against one of the heirs. I believe the king has a right to know."
And I do not disagree, but I think the timing of things are poor. We should wait. Do not tonight.
Wait for what?
We can... if we could talk later. Just please hold off on telling the king.
This is something that he should still be involved in.
Of course he should.
Edwin, make a persuasion check.
I'm pretty good at these. But am I?
Hell yeah, you are.
Tempted fate.
Fate said, fuck you.
But am I?
My prince, I apologize, but I must go with my gut on this. And he puts the helm back on, and he'll leave the room to inform Talon.
Edwin, did you know that man? The one who attacked you?
I think I've seen his face before, but no, I do not know him.
Why are you
Did he?
defending him? He tried to attack you. It's kind of weird.
I'm not defending him. It was a very, 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 very poor attempt. He did not seem right in his mind. He did not
What did
seem...
he say?
He was yelling at me as he came in and said, you killed him, and started running at me. I tripped him up with my whip, and then he was kind of distraught, crying. Honestly, we should probably see if he was on something.
I mean, we'll find out. Isn't that like normal? Like if somebody does something, whether or not they're intoxicated or not, like let the people who need to figure it out figure it out. It's okay. You don't need
Aren't
to
we
stress
the
about
people
it,
who
Edmund.
should figure it out?
Well, there will need to be an investigation.
Yeah, don't we
Whether
have
it's
people
from
to
us or
investigate
not.
this shit?
Oh, yes. I just don't think
But-
it's worth the king's time, as of now.
Can this
It's
Edmund's
a matter of
really
treason,
sus.
I realize this.
Not being sus at all, stop.
Matters of treason do demand the king's attention.
Am I picking up
Anything,
on
it's
any? Oh,
bullshit.
sorry.
If anything, it's one of the
You can-
crimes that should draw his attention. Fucking hell.
The individual
just-
will be jailed in the dungeon while the festival is happening. The festival is way more important than what happened today.
Thank you. Not that my insight's very good.
Do I need to roll something,
Oh.
Joe?
No, I don't know. It's an 8. It's an 8. Don't think it matters.
Let me look at something real quick. No, you do not.
Yeah.
Octavia, you guys don't even know what I looked at. Octavia, I mean, you believe him. Edwin just seems distraught, confused.
It's okay. We'll focus on the festival because that's our job as the king's hand, and then we'll let the people who are in charge of investigating and handling prisoners handle the prisoner. It's totally fine.
No, I think we're in agreement. The only thing I'm against is telling Talon, but I think it's already
Why
happening.
Would you be
So
against that?
because he
You
has
need to
too much
know.
on his plate already.
And what if the assassins try to come after him as well? Is this an attempt against you, or is it an attempt against all of us? These are questions that must be answered, and they involve Talon.
Fine. I was just trying to save him some heartache. He's already had enough things been told to him over the past, 2 days that would give anyone a heart attack.
I think
And so
this
it'd
is
be
a
good
matter
to
of
keep it-
safety.
Yes, it'd be good to keep any want-to-be assassins as part of something he should know, rather than being some secret he finds out later.
At that point, the
Sweet of
doors
you to
to
be
this
considerate, though.
At this point, the doors to the chamber swing open as Talon enters, flanked by 10 more Crown Claw knights filing in. What is going on? Edwin, my boy, are you all right? The rest of you, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Right here?
Sir Zorik, he told me what happened. There was an assassin who came at you in the store?
I would not give him the title of assassin.
Well, from what he described, this was an individual that was trying to take your life. Whether it was politically motivated or not, we don't know, but my boy, you seem very nonchalant at the moment.
Well, considering he did not get within 10 feet of me, that's why. I understand it is a big deal, but it's been handled. I don't think this individual is connected to anything. I think that he is just... Maybe he got too... I don't know what he was looking at or what he thought he was doing. He did not seem right of mind, and I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Make a deception check, Edwin.
You sure you don't want me to do persuasion?
I'm sure. My son, you have been many things in your life, but you have never been a liar. And I don't know why you are beginning to do that now, when it seems as though your life is at stake. I will ask you again, what is happening? Why did this happen? Why do you seem so lackadaisical right now?
Because I think things are more important. I think there are more things that are going on at the moment that are more important than this at the current time.
You see, he looks at you. He's so confused right now. Because, Edwin, you're telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he believes you. This will be investigated. Now. You will be interrogated, and we're going to find out everything we can from this individual. And Edwin, if there is anything that you think is important for us to know in this investigation, then I recommend you let me know now. If it's embarrassing to say in front of your siblings, I detest the idea of secrecy between all of you, but if it is truly that embarrassing, you can write me a letter and have it delivered to my room. Post haste
would be appreciated. But if your life is at stake, Edwin, I know, aside from the people in this room, there are 2 others that are heavily invested in that fate. And if you withhold anything now that could endanger that, you should not divulge it now just because of us, but because of them. But if you believe your life is safe and that we are all overreacting, then you must know something we don't. I implore you to share that, whether it be in private or now. Regardless, I implore you, my boy, please.
I think that we are blowing this out of proportion and that a lowly commoner, either drunk or high on some sort of drug, tried to attempt to do something to me.
And that,
I think
right
we
there,
are fine.
is very unlike you. Some lowly commoner? We have been here far too long, individuals will start to whisper. So Zorik, double up the crown claws around Edwin. Make sure that 1 extra is around the rest of them as well. If need be, I can stay cloistered within my chambers for the added protection.
How are we supposed to mix with the people and...
Well, Kaylin, until we know what's happening with Edwin, I don't want any of you to take any risks. Perhaps this was just something targeted at Edwin. Perhaps not. And the rest of you, in the city, what were you doing? Edwin was alone by himself in a jewelry store with 1 of the Crown Claw Knights. The rest of you, where were you? Were you separated as well, or were you together?
We were all kind of within the same area. We weren't glued to each other's hip, but we saw everything. So me and Kaylin, we had our own little stall to like connect with the people. She made some trinkets. I did a few little readings. And Xanthe went to go talk to one of the captains of the City Watch. But not very far.
But you, Merrick, and Kaylin were close together with 3 Crown Claw Knights. Xanthe was standing next to the captain of the guard and another Crown Claw Knight. Edwin was the only one by himself. So there's
With
no...
a Crown Claw Knight.
With 1 in a small room. A shop. We're lucky it wasn't 2 assassins.
Father still has a point.
What are we supposed to do? Just travel with an armada everywhere, Talon? I think that's a little ridiculous.
Forgive
Leave
me
at least
for
staying away
being
from places of
cautious,
danger.
but hopefully, even though you did not live through it, you do not forget what our family endured. So forgive me if I am a little cautious about assassins.
Father, I understand. I do. And I understand the severity of this issue. But I think we are blowing this out of proportion.
If you
This
still
was not a
continue to think that,
coordinated
then you
attack.
have not heard me.
I have. But
Well,
I'm trying to make
Then you
sure
haven't
that
been listening,
we-
Edwin.
Father, I'm sure we can all agree that we will stay in Skyhaven until this investigation comes to a conclusion. That way it will be safer for everyone involved.
Thank you. For now, that's all I ask. Here, you're safe. The magic that allowed... It isn't here anymore. You're safer here. For now, I don't think it'll be the entire festival. But until we know. Perhaps, Edwin, if you decide that whatever you know is worth sharing, perhaps that investigation can come to a close sooner. But all of you should speak with more of the guests that are here, more of the contestants before tomorrow's trial. There's still a few good hours of light left. Thank you, Sir Zorik, for your service.
I appreciate it more than you could know. It is my duty, my king. Yeah. And he'll look to the rest of you, and he can't find any more words to say. And with that, he'll be escorted out with a few more Crown Claw Knights, less than what he arrived in with, as the rest of them stay here. So instead of the 5 that were surrounding all of you initially, the 1 for each of you, there's now 12. 2 for each of you, and then an extra 2 for Edwin. So 4 on Edwin total.
Edwin, yeah, when Talon leaves, Edwin just kind of spins around to the siblings and goes, and that is why I did not want him to know. But
Oh, don't pretend like Dad made a mistake here. You're not
I'm
telling
not saying
us
anyone
everything.
I'm not saying he made a mistake. I'm just saying I think this is a little much, but I apologize that now we can no longer go to Sea Haven. I need
see.
some fresh air. And Edwin's gonna just kind of walk and then hear the 4 crown claws walking behind him and just stop and just and just keep walking.
Yep.
He's going to a
What were you
balcony.
saying,
Do we have a
Caleb?
balcony? Maybe
Yeah.
a sniper can take him out.
Yeah, there's a balcony you can go to, Edwin, for some fresh air by yourself.
Kaylin, were you saying something? I know we have like delays and stuff going on.
She just said, I don't even know. She just said something under her breath, but I don't remember what I said.
Okay.
I think he said sorry for us not being able to go to Sea Haven, and she said that's what, or something like that's what you think, or something like
I
that.
think she said we'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
Haven.
We'll see, Haven.
Oh
Bro,
God.
this word is just at red this whole fucking game, guys. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
Oh,
it's
God.
being great.
Yeah,
sad.
mine is 2, actually. Yikes.
Before we head off to do anything further, Xanthi will just get one of like the servants to run just some like chamomile tea up to where Dad is, you know. Because bro was stressed and that felt awkward.
Yeah, brown nose harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kissing
Jesus
someone's
Christ.
ass.
Yeah,
Hey.
God, Dad, what, PTSD?
I'm such a bad person for taking care of our dad with fucking PTSD. Yeah, fuck me, I'm the bad one here.
Yeah, Dad, why don't you just get over it? Have you just thought about not being so triggered by it?
Just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Boomer
Okay.
snowflake, am I right?
All right.
It was just one massacre.
It was just 1. Wasn't even 2. All right.
History never repeats.
They didn't
itself.
all die. Like, you still had some family.
You had 3.
Oh yay!
All right. So with that,
Festival.
Back to the festival.
eventually, Edwin, even though you want more moments to yourself, you have to stick together as a group. So the 5 of you gather together with your armada of Crown Claw Knights, and you head into the various festival halls in Skyhaven. You can see there are these large dining tables that are set up where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of royal guests are chatting and drinking. You can see some quiet alcoves where individuals are sort of whispering back and forth with one another. One of the things that all of you are very familiar with, as it is, let's see, it was always one of your favorite places to sort of whisper back and forth to each other, is there is a specific area where there are these sort of like wavy stone benches and chairs that have very, very tall backs. And there are these like stone plates sort of set up in between them. So none of the whispers travel anywhere, where 2 people can have a conversation in like sight of somebody and the words don't travel anywhere. They sort of stay confined there. And you can see several people having their silent conversations there, the whispering alcove. But you can see all of these different places, and you can see the other contestants that are here. Serafina, Victor, and Garrett are all up here. Speaking with various nobility of Daria. In fact, you can see Garrett Greenmeyer right now is actually speaking with your uncle, Octavia, as the two of them are having a conversation and sort of laughing back and forth with one another. So, as all of you
intrigued.
enter, is there anything in particular you wanted to head and do with any individuals here? I will say, Edwin, you do see Astrid is here. However, you also do see that Davian is here as well.
Your
I
face.
go over and I stab him straight in the face.
The fuck are you doing?
You know what? I go over there with the gauntlet, place it on his face, cast inflict wounds, and drain the life from his body as well. I don't do that.
Okay.
yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Plot thread
He's gonna go over to Astrid.
concluded. Yeah. You head over to Astrid.
Yep.
So you head over to Astrid,
I mean-
Edwin.
Yeah. Via will go over to her uncle and Garrett. Is it Garrett or Gareth with a TH?
Garrett, I want to say.
Garrett, like a carrot. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, Garrett like a carrot.
Okay, cool. I was like, that's why I have written down. I hope so.
I keep saying I want to add the TH because I feel like it needs it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's okay. Okay, yeah, she'll
We
head
already
over to
have
them.
Gareth. Don't make things confusing.
Oh yeah, your dad's best
Yeah.
friend.
You're
Yeah.
right, you're right. Garrett.
Also
Garrett.
from Thornfield.
Oh man. Oh man.
Well, he
oh,
is a
man.
Thornfield. Greenmeyer is a vassal of Thornfield, so they're separate enough.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
I mean.
They're like nearly the same person. They look alike.
All right.
I know they don't. Anyway.
Garrett is lacking
One's a
a few
fur.
feathers. Yeah.
I know they don't look alike at all. But
Okay, so Octavia, you
she'll,
approach
like,
there.
weasel her way over there with her, like, I don't know, whatever mug of ale or whatever to be like, hey, you know when you're at a party and you want to talk to, like, them, but you also don't want to, like, butt in on a conversation. So you just stand nearby for one of them to be like, oh my god, Felicity. Oh my god.
Hey, yeah. Okay, cool. So you move over there.
Oh my god, you're here.
Xanthi, Kaylin, were the two of you wanting to do anything in particular?
Who
I
else?
mean,
So, Victor, Serafina, Garrett, as well as the Octavia's uncle. The High King of Thornonathi here is here as well. And every single Lord and Lady Paramount except for Gareth. Gareth is currently in Crown's Rest handling duties there. So that
I
would
don't
mean.
think Kaylin...
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that would mean that Lady Iridessa and Lionel are here as well.
Oh wait. And sorry because I was gone. Is Purple Tiefling Lady also here?
Yeah, Morgana. Yeah, she is.
You know what I'm talking about. Ooh, yeah. I might want to talk to her first, actually.
Okay.
Maybe not. We want to speak in private though. But you said there was a silent little.
Yeah, there's a little
Silent
alcove
place?
place where you guys can speak in silence. Well, unobserved.
That's not fully like if somebody was trying to listen in, they could.
Not listen in, but they could see you.
Oh, see us talking?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. So you're gonna
I don't
talk to
really
the
care about
Archmage.
that. So yeah. Yeah, and Morgana first.
Okay. And then
Got some
Kaylin,
pressing things.
what were you thinking?
I don't know. I don't think Kaylin really wants to talk to anybody right now. I think she's kind of still, I don't know, kind of like ruminating on what just happened, and she's not really in the mood to have a conversation.
In
case, would you
accompany Via to talk to Morgana? So she's not doing it alone?
Yeah, she could do that.
That would be great.
Fantastic. Alrighty. So the two of you will head over to Morgana. Xanthi, anything for you?
Xanthi is not a charismatic person, but I imagine these are like the one time where it's like she's better. Like this isn't an event. It's not interpersonal. She could just like, script it out. And so she's just gonna be like, rubbing a few shoulders.
Oh yeah.
And just like, making the rounds just so like the King's Hand has like a presence with like other guests as well. Just like making the rounds to everyone, skipping over her grandmother because no. But yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Alrighty. So with that, we'll go ahead and start with Edwin since we finished with Edwin last time. So Edwin, as you sit down with Astrid, of course, she's going to be as like neutral as she can be in this public space, having a conversation back and forth. Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk to her about, or just sort of to be in this comfortable area with her? Is John not here?
I think John said
Oh,
BRB.
okay. So we'll go to Edwin will be last, actually. As we go to Morgana, Octavia, and Kaylin. As you can see, Morgana is currently speaking with a few other members of the vassals of House Umbren. And you can see that as the two of you approach, she says,
The King's Hand, at least two, delights me with their approach. If you two would excuse me, please.
talking to the other people she was there with, as the two of you approach.
Is there something in particular I could help the two of you with?
Yeah, actually, the two of us have some interesting information that we'd like to share with you, maybe in one of the silent alcoves, if you don't mind and have time.
Well, of course, I can always make time for the two princesses.
And with that, two of you head off to the silent alcove. Well, the three of you head off to the silent alcove.
Yeah, it's actually really good that Caitlin's coming because she saw the thing too directly. So, and then we have the book now too. Yeah. So, when we get there, I think Via first will ask Morgana, have you been able to reach out to your friend, who was a strong diviner? Did they have any feedback yet?
Yes, in fact, they planned on coming to Crown's Rest after the festival.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we're planning on, I think, Kaylin, unless I'm forgetting something, we're going to be heading to Crown's Rest as well after the festival, so be able to meet up with them.
Yeah, I think that's still the plan.
Okay.
I mean, any
great.
information they
That's-
can provide would be incredibly useful.
Yeah, I've had another really strong, intense vision, and I ended up going unconscious for some time. And I need to get better control over all of this, so I hope they can provide some guidance. But the eggs, I know the green one has had some contact, or Emerald, sorry, has been having the most activity, but what about the ruby and onyx ones? Are you noticing anything from them yet?
We have noticed growth and movement in the eggs, but they do not seem to be as communicative as the green one, the emerald one. The emerald one has shared with Merrick, who has shared with Solara, that it is confident that the other two do communicate, just not with it. Not with them.
What about with you?
None of them have communicated with me to this point. Even the...
Was that honest?
I'm making an insight check.
I also went
Kaylin,
mine.
do you want? Please help!
Not very helpful.
I got
Sorry,
a
dog.
2. I got a 2.
As far as both of you can tell, there is, she's being honest. However, Kaylin, you pick up on there's a lot more frustration in her voice than that she's trying to conceal.
Mm.
Okay. And my father, if he hasn't already talked to you about this, he may want to speak on it a little bit to you. But the ritual that I told you about. Did you discover anything else about it? Because we were able to collect the book, and we're trying to learn as much as we can. But the Draconic is ancient, and I'm surprised that me and my friends were able to find anything within that book. But it seems to be almost like a pact, and we need help, as much help as we can, to really, really decipher it so that, try and reverse it as much as possible, if possible, or even what to expect.
And also find a way for it to stop feeding off of Via and her friends. I saw what it's doing to her, and it's not good.
And what did you see?
I mean, I saw this black and red form that is just connected to her in some way. This dragon nature, I don't know. It was more of an essence of something, but it was evil. And it seems like every time they perform whatever this is, it's strengthening it. I don't know. But I fear if we don't find a way to sever that connection, there's not a safe way for her to just stop. Unless you found something.
Any of the texts that I had, they were older and written in the common tongue. There were texts by a group of cultists who attempted to bring back a Draco Lich by a ritual of many thousands of individuals over many years, and they were able to do so unfettered. A massive, massive, massive dragon. But there were details on the ritual and how they were able to achieve it, but that seems to be more of an act of necromancy, not necessarily some binding act like this. I will say there is an individual that I do know, one who has been trained in the art of reading draconic texts. His name is Zephoros. He is from Meldaris, but he is a dragonborn, and he can read the text in all truth, in all honesty. He spent many years learning how to read the true language of the dragons, and if that is what you say it is, then he could translate it for us.
Wonderful. Do you know if he's still in Meldaris right now, or does he travel often? Is there a way we can contact him?
I can contact him. I do not know where he is now. He typically goes between Meldaris. He travels a lot to the far west. Apparently there are collections of islands out west that he visits frequently, either that or in Mirios. But I will reach out to him and see where he might be.
Okay.
In the meantime, is there something else we should be doing? Or are we just expected to continue this ritual every night?
Well, from what you read, it seems as though to stop the ritual would harm Octavia. That is correct, right?
As far as we know.
I mean, it doesn't even sound like it would just harm me. It would harm. I don't know. It has a lot of unknowns, but yes, it could harm me, but do other damage outside of that too.
Until we learn more, I would suggest continuing the ritual, Octavia. Doing it the same as you always have, but maybe using less energy, less magical potency. Try and control it as much as you can. Although you will still commit to doing the ritual, you need not pour your every soul and fiber of your being into it anymore.
I'm not really pouring that much into it. I mean, Kaylin saw the ritual. It's very little energy at all to begin with. Very little blood.
It's also very one-sided. It's as though as soon as she makes any sort of initial contact, it's what is given up is no longer in her control. That's the problem.
Very parasitic, then. That is concerning. I will reach out to Zephoros, and I will see if there is any way he could perhaps use I can provide him access to my own personal teleportation circle to get him here sooner.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Of course.
Once again, Kaylin's suspicious of everybody. Does she seem like she is truthful in what she is saying?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
Let's go, Caitlin.
Okay.
Yo.
There definitely does seem to be something, Caitlin, that she's intentionally omitting. Her intentions are good. You can tell that she has, a genuine care in Octavia's safety, but it seems as though there is something she is omitting.
Is that all? Or is there more? Because the way you're looking right now is as though there's more. And my sister's life is clearly in danger, and I don't really appreciate you holding things back.
Zephoros has not always lived in Maldaris. He immigrated there. He spent a great deal of time in Solele by the name of Cassius. And he was a necromancer, and a specific form of necromancy that was used a great deal in political games, summoning shades and spirits and gas for politically motivated assassinations. However, he has rejected his name, everything that he had ever done, taken a new name closer to his roots as a dragonborn, Zephoros, and now he manages a small codex of knowledge within the woods outside of the capital of Maldaris. He's left that life behind. I never knew him as Cassius. I only knew him as Zephoros. And ever since then, he has given me no reason to doubt his character.
Well, people change, don't they?
I believe they can.
And all we need him to do is read the book.
Correct.
Nothing more.
Exactly. And it seems as though, from what you told me on the ship, Octavia, Perhaps he might be able to give you more information about the workings of Solele, as it seems as though there are individuals tied to the Dragon's hierarchy there.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to speak with him as soon as possible, so your idea with the teleportation circle would be amazing. I also... There's a part of me that wants to, when we're back at Crown's Rest, see the eggs again. When I first saw them, I didn't think they didn't react to me at all. Which makes me think they still wouldn't, right? Or maybe they don't care, even if there is some sort of connection, I don't know, but... Do you think that would be a good or a bad idea, or just nothing at all? Like, not even worth thinking about?
I think that it's a good idea to check, but I think that I would like to be there with you just in case anything develops. So if a connection is made, hopefully I can cut it off before anything happens.
Okay. Perfect. This is really helpful. Thank you, Morgana.
Of course. Thank you, all of you. Thank you to the two of you for trusting me. I promise, with Zephoros' help, we will get to the bottom of this book and whatever we need to do to break this connection. All right.
All right. Best we can do.
So, with that, the two of you will depart from the alcove. Unless there was anything else for Morgana?
Yeah. I don't have anything else for Morgana.
All right. With that, we go back to the festival. Alrighty. So the five of you sort of reconvene, and eventually the guests begin to filter out, returning to their rooms or the various places that they're staying as night falls, and it's about time for all of you to head to bed. A trial will begin tomorrow, a test of strength and constitution and fortitude, and that will begin bright and early in the morning. Does anybody have anything they'd like to do this evening before they head to sleep? Before the festival, before the second trial begins tomorrow.
John.
I know we gotta move along things, but
No, you're good.
I mean, Edwin wants to talk to his wife.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because sorry, I. That's my bad. So I was gonna start with it, and I forgot to come back to it. That's my bad. So, you sit down at the table, sitting across from your wife. Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk about, or were you just there for some comfort after what had happened?
Mainly comfort, but where's Davian? Where's that little bitch?
Make a perception check.
Alrighty. Perception. Alright, doesn't do shit. Hello?
All right. Okay, well, you rolled a natural 1 on the first one.
God damn it.
And then you rolled a 14 and then a 19. It just kept getting better.
I don't see them coming through, my bad.
Okay, no, you're good.
No. He's just so enamored with Astrid at this moment. He's just like, can't find Davian.
You're a little too locked in, and you don't see Davian anywhere to be seen. Whether he's here or not, you're not exactly sure, but as far as you can tell, he's not here.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean the main conversation with her is what happened. Well, fuck, we're around a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So let's I'll just say to her, would you mind joining me at my lady, would you mind joining me at one of the, what are they called? Whisper something?
Whispering alcoves, yeah.
Whispering alcoves? Whispering alcoves?
Well, Prince Edwin, it would be a great honor to do so.
Thank you. Go over there. Edwin's just gonna, he's just gonna act like he's trying to riz up Astrid. You know, you know. But he's just gonna say, "So, I was wanting to talk to you. Thank God you're here. Everything right now is so. Everything's so stressful. Dad just yelled at me.
And why was that?
Now, please don't yell or anything, but there was someone who attempted to stab me today. But it
And
was fine.
they
I tripped
are
him up with the whip.
dead now?
No, they are in the dungeon. Please do not go sneaking around the castle like last time. They are heavily guarded. Everything is fine. So anyways, there's now this... there was an attempt on the prince's life. We must... You see those 4 guards that are about 20 feet away from me? Yeah, they're just following me everywhere, so...
And your father yelled at you because you had an attempt at your life?
Well, more so that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's someone I've encountered before. I don't think it's an organization or an actual assassination attempt. It was a grievance.
Well,
I feel bad for the individual.
you feel... I'm sorry, I am just confused.
Looks around. I'm not meaning to confuse you. A couple, maybe a month or so ago, I snuck out into the shadowy parts of Sea Haven. Looking for, well, acquiring a truth serum. Some bandits, or what have you, followed me out, and things got out of hand. I asked them not to try and rob me, hurt me, whatever, and I ended up killing one of them.
You defended yourself? That only makes sense. And then they sought revenge for you killing one of their companions?
Which is the one who attempted to stab me today.
And you bested him in combat. But you spared his life.
And this is why I don't think it's a big deal. But everyone else seems to think it is.
If we were home in the Nornathi, I wouldn't think it is a big deal either. But Adaria is different. Young Wolf, very different.
Which is... Also, my siblings and father do not know of this excursion.
And your father could tell you lying.
Yeah, he's really good at that. Apparently I'm not a good liar.
You are not.
You are the only one who actually knows, and obvious reasons. I don't know what to tell them. I did 2 illegal things on that day. And now they're investigating it, so...
I find that sometimes we think of lies as a shield. We protect the ones we love by lying. But in all reality, it just builds walls. We protect ourselves by keeping lies to ourselves. By being deceitful to those we love. I understand your apprehension. And it is not my decision to make, and it's not their blood that is on my hands. I understand why you keep it to yourself. But
I told him not to. I begged him not to.
taking the life of a man is different than that of a monster. I am sorry, my love.
Thank you for listening.
Always.
Well, I will have to find time to let them know the whole story. But right now, there's so much going on. I don't know when I would have time to tell them. I assume after tomorrow's... Actually, was it today? Is today the... Hi, it's me, Jonathan, out of character. Is today when we're supposed to talk about Davian, or is that tomorrow?
I think that that is up to you. I don't think
shit.
that you set a specific time for that.
All right. I think tomorrow I'm going to ask all of you, your father, my father, and my siblings, for a meeting to go over what exactly is happening, what has happened, and why I've had to bring you here.
All right. Tearing down the walls, that is good.
Yes, I'm afraid, though, that tearing down these walls will let something worse in.
We never know until we try.
He kind of, his hands move to grab her hands and then realizes that he's doing it and stops midair, puts them back. It'll all be better soon.
It will be. And this will all be a distant memory.
Yes. Well, let's get back to the festivities.
As you wish, my prince.
And you can see she
My
kind of
lady.
chuckles at saying that.
He kind of gestures her out, outstretching his hand and bowing a little bit.
Yeah. And she'll stand, and the two of you walk off and eventually defer. All right. But with that, eventually the night comes to a close as guests and participants head off to their rooms and their lodgings. And I believe, not festival music, get out of here. There we go. I believe there was something somebody wanted to do before bed tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Kaylin's gonna go to Xanthe's room.
All right. Sounds good.
Good luck,
to
bud.
me.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
You just go to the door. This gives you like a look up and down. Deja vu, I suppose. What is it?
Not a sleepover this time, I promise. Do you have 2 minutes?
I can spare them, yes.
So Kaylin steps inside. Now I will say, I had this planned way before John's excursion. She's gonna pull out the necklace that she made Xanthi forever ago. But it's different now. You can tell that she's changed it, and she's actually added to it quite a bit. And she holds it in her hand for a second, looking at it. She doesn't look at you while she says this. Seems to me that everyone and everything is out to get all of us. And there's only so much I can do about that. Especially in your case, it is a very unique situation. And since, as nice as it is to have an armada of Crownclaw knights and soldiers at our beck and call, there are some things that those on the material plane cannot always ward against. And even though I know you don't care for me, and I don't necessarily care for you, you are my sister. And I don't want anything to happen to you. So I made this for you. And she's gonna hand it to Xanthi. Well, remade.
There's a long pause before she'll take it from you. I will not associate with anything of your witchcraft. I believe I've made myself more than clear in that front. I have no intentions on dealing with anything of the occult more than we are forced to. And I imagine Kaylin can tell that this is like a little bit forced from Xanthi. This isn't just like, you know, a natural reaction.
Kaylin says nothing for a second, and then she says, well, throw it away then. Good night. And she's gonna turn and leave.
Okay. Kaylin, you shut the door behind you. Xanthi, you are alone. What do you do?
She kind of holds it like it's something that's stinky, you know, like a little bit away from her. Same way that she received it. And again, she just stands there for a long minute, and then she's going to just go over to some kind of drawer, whatever, somewhere she could kind of stash it away, and she's going to place it, but she's going to place it kind of, she'll find some kind of box or container so it's not going to just get like, you know, broken or jumbled or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
And she will place it in there, but she's going to keep it tucked away.
Okay. So, for when Xanthi one day maybe decides to wear it, that maybe we'll see if this undoes what Xanthi just decided to do.
No.
Xanthi...
She made the decision to
Okay.
put it away. She can't fucking take the backseats. She put that bitch away.
Okay, all right. So
Tell her what
Xanthi,
it does, Joe.
you put it away. And you see as you put it away that emerald, or not the emerald, the sapphire that's set in the middle seems to have this almost magical, dull glimmer to it. as you can go on to D&D Beyond and you can add to your character sheet a magic item, the Serpent's Eye Amulet. It's an uncommon magic item, does not require attunement. It has 1 charge, regains all expended charges after a long rest. The sapphire set in the middle allows you to cast Absorb Elements at level 1 by expending 1 charge. The thing is, the amulet on the back of it has 2 empty, smaller gem slots. And there's a list of emerald, or there's not a list of emerald, there's a list of gemstones that Kaylin can spend a couple days working on and etching with Serpent Grove runes and add 2 more charges to the item, as well as 2 more spells that you could cast for free from the amulet. Does cost money, does take time, and it'll use your spell casting save DC, and if you don't have one, the save is 13 and the to hit is +5.
Oh, I want one. What the fuck?
I mean, Xanthi is still shutting this thing away. I think,
That's good.
honestly, if anything, as soon as she sees that there is like an actual glint of like something arcane, she is doing so faster. But yeah, tucking that shit away, and is
Xanthi
going to
likes-
just try not to think about it.
All right. But you know where it is now for whenever you want to come back and grab it. All right. So with that, Xanthi, you had to sleep, as well as the rest
Lynn
of
is
you.
gonna grumpily go back to her fucking room. She's mad. She is grumpy. And she's gonna
Wait, come
do
to
that
Edwin's
thing.
room. Give him one.
Nope, you don't get
You'll
shit.
gladly accept it.
None
You'll
of this
accept
family
it.
gets anything anymore.
I'd
Nah,
be
nah, nah.
one too. I would
Kaylin
like-
is I think she would have been mad regardless. She's just gonna go to her room and just all of you hear a door slam in the night.
Which
Via is like
wonder who that
doing
was.
the ritual. Yeah, she's like doing the ritual. And she's like, Kaylin.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Kaylin didn't make the magic item. I do want to clarify. She did have somebody else like magically enchanted. It's just that she can edit the gemstones because it's Serpent's Grove
I was
work.
gonna say, hey, Jesus. Okay.
Gosh, she ain't got that kind of power, dude.
No.
Not even level 3 yet, making
No.
magical. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, hey,
Nah, she
no.
had to pay for that.
Yeah, she.
I
Yeah.
know, right? That's what I was thinking.
No, Kaylin paid a pretty penny
I
for
paid
that.
it.
Wow. Fuck your pennies.
Damn. This
Yeah.
reminds me of the SpongeBob episode where that donkey face keeps going over Squidward. You know what I mean? I'm talking about. Yeah. Reminds me of that.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is so funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So with that, as all of you had to sleep, ready for the trial of brinkmanship in the morning, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break there. Let's go ahead and aim to be back at 02. 5-minute break, very brief, but we will be back. We'll get into the trial, and I will say the talkie talks in between the first trial and the second trial will be more brief, so we should be able to get through 2 trials before the session is over, depending on how things go. We'll see if people want to have that talk about Davian. We'll see about that. All right. BRB.
Yes.
Okay.
She's basically going to be like, I'm here as a representative of the king's hand. They want to meet you, but I'm here to ensure that, we can come to an arrangement on how to meet safely before they actually show up. Meanwhile, sneak. There we go.
Okay. Got it.
You got it, Joe?
I hope so. I fucking don't.
You find, after walking through the village, taking about 15-20 minutes to get together, and you find that forward camp. No! You find pitched
Yes.
tents. No!
Clip it.
Hey, there's your first
Flip
one.
it.
Look like tits. Clip those tits.
God damn it. We're 20 minutes in, dude, and I could.
Jarvis, clip.
I didn't even
matter.
need it. Fuck off. Get
Get
fucked.
fucked.
What?
Nice second level spell, loser.
Get
And
fucked.
I want to take my wind if I may.
Let her win, Joe.
Let me breeze it up.
Breeze it
Deepest
up,
fucking
breeze it
breath
up. There
you've
you
ever
go. Yeah,
breathed.
Xanthi, you can feel the wind begin to compress around you, forming this shield, trying to hold you in place, but through mental fortitude and strength, this resistance to being told what to do, you break out of it, and you can see there's this impressed look on his face. He smiles. He's not taken aback. He's not in fear, but he nods and says,
That's what I expected from the likes of someone like you. Impressive.
all right.
This,
we
Eldritch
got a-
Blast.
We got a hex. And an Eldritch
then
Blast.
Give him that
Hopefully.
warlock 1/2.
Oh, baby, let's go!
Our first natural 20 of the game. Congratulations! Kayla, you were destined to be one of the first natural ones, and you rolled the first natural 20. How do you feel right now? Which is
Last of the
crazy
game.
because with Hex, you crit on the Hex damage and on the Eldritch Blast, so those two
This guy's
damage
so
dies are
dead.
maxed out. So
Oh,
what's the
shit.
what,
Guys,
No,
Via,
no,
it's up to you.
Nah,
Via.
nah, he
Via's
ain't getting
gotta
away.
kill him.
Come on, Via. It's your
Come on,
time.
Via.
Ray of Sickness.
Man up.
She's already
Alright,
killed
Via.
one. She's gonna have so much trauma from this trip. Like she.
She was like, I'm so excited for this road trip with my
I'm
siblings.
just so excited to spend time with my family. Meanwhile, since it started, why can't I stop killing people?
Why is this happening? Okay. What do we think? Firebolt or Ray of Sickness?
Burn him alive.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sun begins to set. Takes a half day to get there. 500 feet away from where the keep should be. You tie off the horses, dismount, travel by foot. Closer and closer and closer. There seems to be no sign of any life, any travel. I mean, you're so far off the road right now that it's really hard to tell that you're going in the right direction, especially at nighttime. But eventually, you're able to see. Blocking the road, don't move. You can see, or you can hear Sir Otis say, Sir Lando, if you would, please. If you would please order your soldiers to move.
They are no soldiers.
Sir Otis.
They're clergymen. Come, make way. Allow the Lady Paramount and the princes and princesses to travel free.
And with that, the soldiers split. And the caravan moves, creaking forward. As all of you looking out through the windows, you can see the clergymen turn about face. And he will give a very low bow. Head out.
As the door shuts. Oh, that kind of sucked.
Okay, great. She will do a firebolt.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'm also gonna.
Oh
put
my god, another natural 20.
Whoa!
All right, so that is a 10 plus a
Whoa.
D10.
Via can't stop killing.
I
Yeah.
know! I know!
She's grown a
So good
taste
at
for
it.
it.
The dice are apparently telling the best story because I was like, oh, she's gonna be timid and miss all the time.
She's
So I
gonna
was
be like,
sending
"No,
her
I
up
don't
for
want
that.
the- I don't want the crown anymore. I'm
God.
just really good at this.
Okay, so yeah, she will. All of her schooling is coming back to her. So that's a 16 total damage.
Jesus Christ.
12.
12, that just hits. Well, wait. Yeah,
I was like, really?
yeah, that just hits. Since you're hitting him from the opposite side, he does not have the 3/4 cover bonus.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, we're back. Oh, camera's a little fucked up. There we go. All right. I'm standing now. It's serious. So, picking up where we left off, the Sentinel Festival had begun. And so much has happened in that first day. A lot of political discussions, a lot of tension. But at the end of the day, there was an attempt at Edwin's life, an attempt for revenge that many believed was an assassination attempt, or that there was some larger plot tied to it. However, Edwin, unwilling, and truthfully maybe a little embarrassed to unveil the truth of what actually would be the reason, potentially causing more fear and insecurity among his family members. So for now, the King's Hand can no longer go down to Sea Haven until an investigation is complete as to why this individual would do it. Up above, there were several conversations that were had with Morgana as well as Astrid. The conversation with Morgana ended with an individual by the name of Zephyros. Zephyros being an individual who lives in Maldaris who can read true draconic script. Themselves being a dragonborn, it makes that feat much, much, much easier. However, the only downside is it seems that this was an individual who's connected with some very powerful individuals in Solele and has done some rather unspeakable acts. However, it was a little alarming that Morgana wouldn't divulge that initially and only divulged it after Kaylin pressed. But Kaylin and Octavia decide that somebody who can read it is better than not knowing what it says in its entirety. So Morgana says that she'll reach out. Edwin and Astrid discuss what had transpired just moments ago in Sea Haven and why the individual would do it. Edwin being honest with his wife in an effort to let her know. And she gives her own feedback and advice about lies being that we perceive are shields to protect the people we care about, but in all reality, they wall us off from them. And that sometimes honesty and telling the truth can be the thing that actually protects them. However, Edwin sees that as a hard truth to believe right now. As if he is honest about not just this, but about Davian, that it could very well end in some rather destructive actions. So Edwin's still stuck between a rock and a hard place. However, Xanthi, in that same night, was able to show her own political skill as schmoozing from group to group to group to group, making sure that the King's Hand appeared as a relatively unified collective in the night in Skyhaven's banquet halls. But eventually the night concluded with Kaylin going to Xanthi's room and offering her a gift. The same necklace that Kaylin had made a while ago, but improved, upgraded. Taken to a Serpent's Grove jeweler that had made their home in Skyhaven and was able to improve it with magic and runes that Kaylin herself would be able to at least partially influence or upgrade in time. However, Xanthi, in an effort to not be associated with anything occult, understandably so, decides to put the necklace in a drawer and shut it there for now. However, as the siblings head to rest, they wake up the next morning, ready for not a day of joyous festivities, but bright and early in the morning for the first trial. All right, let me go ahead. There we go. The trial of brinksmanship. All right. So. All right. So all of you march down from Sky Haven to Sea Haven, flanked on all sides by Crown Claw Knights, to the harbor waters of Sea Haven. They churn dark and cold this early morning, gray skies, as this autumn tide pulls against the rocky shore. You can see there are these massive stone pillars that jut out of the top of the water with chains connected to them, sinking deep, deep, deep below into the harbor. There are these thick ropes of kelp and braided twine, as well as chain that stretch taut between these iron posts that are driven deep into the harbor floor, creating this sort of underwater invisible, or this arena only visible as these sort of shadowy shapes beneath the surface. You can see all 7 of the contestants gather near the water's edge, near Sea Haven's harbor. And you can see Lady Marianne Blackthorn says, "There will be 2 groups of 2 and 1 group of 3. You all will be tied to stone, and you shall test your will against another's. Victory comes not from surfacing, but from claiming more ground than your opponents. And with that, our first pair shall begin. Lord Garrett Greenmeyer and Thalia Aurelius, step forward and begin your descent." And with that, you can see tied to both of them are chains. Pulleys, something where they can pull on the rock that is currently at the very bottom in that sort of like divider line that shows, that sort of middle line. And this very like underwater tug of war. So these are our groupings, by the way. Poor Bjorn in that trio. So, Garrett Greenmeyer and Thalia Aurelius, the chains are tied around them in whichever way they deem. You can see Thalia goes for it sort of tied around her waist, and Garrett Greenmeyer goes for it to be tied around his shoulders, almost like a backpack. And with that, the 2 of them, they begin their descent into the water, both taking very, very, very deep breaths. But you can see Thalia, it seems as though she whispers some type of incantation before descending down. All right. Unless you guys wanted, there were no restrictions on the tools or magic that they could use as long as it was skills of their own merit. Like, obviously, no magic items that are specifically purchased to aid in these challenges, but if it's abilities and skills they have, then you're okay with them using it, right?
Yeah, right?
That would make sense to me.
Yeah, we gotta see what they can do.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So you can see Thalia, she whispers something, enchanting herself with some type of magic, and you can see that as she moves down into the water, it seems as though the act of holding her breath is not something she has to worry about. It seems as though there's obviously still the problem of moving underneath water, but you can see that as she steps in, there are these gills that kind of grow on her neck from an alter self spell. So you can see Garrett, he kind of looks over with a side eye and grimaces at that, and he takes a very deep breath as he descends into the water, not having the same magic that she does. All right, so they descend, and the trial begins. All right. So as the 2 of them descend down to the very depths, eventually that tug of war begins. And this is going to be, I need to move this bag of chips, 1 second. Sponsored by Ruffles. Okay. Delightful. Okay, so this trial is going to be best 2 of 3. All right. So you can see Garrett immediately right out of the gate, as soon as it begins, he is going to start tugging with all of his might right off the bat, trying to get a good head start, maybe trying to knock her off her feet. You can see she is going to sort of like take her spear, and she's going to like jam it into the ground, into the soil and stone, and she's going to try and use that as leverage to prevent Garrett from pulling her forward. All right, let's see. Ooh, not good for Garrett right at the start. And that's really good for Thalia. So you can see Garrett pulling with all of his might, trying not to let any breath in, as he is like, you can see his cheeks, his lips, his whole head, like face beginning to turn red, pushing as hard as he can, trying to pull it. But you can see Thalia just plants her feet and pressing down with the spear. You can see just taking bit after bit, she's able to take steps back, using the spear as this sort of like piece of leverage against him, pulling the stone closer and closer and closer to her side. All right, so that is one failure for Garrett. Unable to find his footing here. Let's see if Thalia is able to displace him or if Garrett will gain back his footing. I'm going to use a different dice for Garrett. He deserves better. Okay. All right, Garrett's a strong lad. Yep, okay. So with that, Thalia, she gets overconfident. You can see that there are these like arcs of magic happening around her. As you can see, she's maybe already thinking about how she could potentially maybe celebrate a bit or showboat this victory. But you can see Garrett, he plants his foot, like jams it into the sand and stone, and you can see there is this like crack of stone with how forceful he plants his foot. And you can see almost, yeah, there's like this flash of divine energy as he smites with a kick. Sure. Slamming it down to the ground, cracking the stone, and digging his heel into it, and he's able to pull back. And then he just starts walking. And Thalia, she continues to try and jam her spear in, but he just keeps walking and walking and walking, beating her score there by about 8. All right. So Garrett has a little bit of a lead right now on where Thalia did. So Thalia will have to roll quite a bit higher than Garrett in this in order to secure the victory. That's cocked. All right, that's pretty good for Thalia. Okay. All right. So Garrett, he pulls and he pulls and he pulls, but you can see his face goes from red to white as he just... and he ends up gasping for air under the water, and he ends up sort of like flailing and panicking as Thalia is able to use that opportunity to jerk, and she just drags the stone all the way across until eventually Garrett is crossing the line, sort of reaching at the chain, trying to bat it off of him, and will swim to the surface. And you can see there are a couple of individuals that move towards the shore, sort of grabbing Garrett as he just sort of vomits water up out onto the shore side. And you can see Thalia exits, lifting the spear up into the air, and you can see there are some cheers, especially from those of Alicia, as the steward of House Falkrest, Lady Marianne, says, "Our victor in the first round is that of Thalia Aurelius of the Arcadian Republic of Alicia. Congratulations, Thalia." And Thalia will once again sort of gesture up with the spear. There is a bolt of lightning that descends down on her. It's this very, very, very celebratory victory. But you can see that as Garrett is standing, or sort of like on his knees, she will move down, and she does seem to check in on Garrett to make sure that he's okay after celebrating her victory. So she checks in, and the two of them have a moment, and, you know, Garrett sort of smiles, and you can just barely hear him over the crashing waves. Good job, Thalia. I'll need to learn how to do that one. It would have came in handy. And just spitting up more water. But he will stand after catching his breath, and he will give a bow to the audience and wave at them. His pride wounded, but not being a sour sport about it. All right. With that, we move on to our next collective of 2. As the Lady Marianne approaches and says, "And now we call to compete Brenna Stonehill and Victor Bloodmoon." You can see Victor, he kind of like takes off his larger jacket and vest until it's just down to like the white shirt and black pants and his boots, and he kind of is like shaking, not super excited about this at all, but just trying to think about how he's going to compete in this moment. Very deep in thought. You can see Brenna just approaches the edge of the water, and she just sort of narrows her eyes, looking into the sea, looks up into the air, and nods, very sure of herself in this moment. Okay. But with that, they have the chains put on them. You can see both of them go for tied around the waist. And they descend into the water. So, let's see here. All right. Brenna. Here we go. You can see that before she enters, she starts to like hyperventilate, and she just starts breathing like very, very quick, very heavy. And she takes one big inhale in to sort of maximize her oxygen. And you can see Victor, he casts a few spells and he presses them into his chest, this sort of like enhancement of vigor and constitution. And the two of them descend into the water. Now, as they do, Brenna immediately, as they begin pulling back and forth, is going to sink very low, almost into like a squat, and is just going to use that low center of gravity, and is just like one step at a time, just moving back at this very slow and steady pace. You can see Victor, he does try in all earnest with his strength to pull initially. So Victor is going to be at a disadvantage here because he's a little bit of a string bean. Damn, Victor.
I cut out. What is Victor doing?
He sort of enchanted himself with some like heightened constitution. He didn't give himself the ability to breathe, but just seeming to have a little bit of an easier time holding his breath, mainly.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. So with that, Brenna, you can see, is taken back by this sort of explosion of force from Victor. Seemingly very passionate about winning in this moment. He's actually able to knock Brenna off her footing for a moment, as even with that low center of gravity, she wasn't expecting such a strong jerk from such a, you know, a weak-looking individual. But she ends up sort of falling forward, and Victor is able to drag her quite a bit with a natural 20 there from Victor, so good job. Good job, me. Okay, so next round. That's caught for Brenna. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, that is going to be an overwhelming victory for Brenna there, as she's able to sort of push herself up. And this time, low center of gravity, both hands on the chain, now just begins to walk Victor back. But you can see she like jerks on the chain every once in a while to cause Victor to lose his footing. And you can see Victor's eyes kind of narrow, and there's this like flash of flame and steam around his eyes, as it seems as though he now might try alternate strategies. As we get to the last roll here, I'm going to have Victor make a sleight of hand check first. Okay.
Oh, wait. Is my boy Victor a fucking scumbag? Is that what we're about to find out?
Okay, Brenna. Okay, and then Victor.
The hot ones tend to be so Love Island.
It's okay. It's okay. They're hot. It's okay. They can get past.
You can see Brenna is pulling and pulling and pulling, and is almost about to pull Victor over that sort of center line, as she's pulled the stone a great deal of ways. But you can see Victor, it seems as though he's able to rally his strength somehow. You can see Brenna has stopped sort of pulling on the chain. She's still trying to walk back, but anytime she tries to grab the chain, she kind of ends up shaking her hands a bit and pulling, but it seems to have no effect. As he continues to walk back and walk back and walk back, until eventually he ends up pulling Brenna over the line. And
He
with
cast
that,
deep metal on the chain.
the trial finishes as the two of them undo the chains and swim up to the shore, as Lady Marianne will announce. And our victor is Victor Bloodmoon. Congratulations, Victor. And Victor will bow. He'll sort of wipe his hair back. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brenna, very, very, very good job. You had me there for a moment, but I'm sure there will be many more opportunities in the future to show your strengths. You can see Brenna just sort of side eyes, and we'll head back up the hill. She won't say anything in return. Ah! A bit of a sore loser. Not a problem. And he will wave out. All right. And then, last but definitely not least.
Yo, wait, I just realized Bjorn's going up against the two
Lady
fucking-
Marianne.
Yeah, that's so fucking unfair
Dude,
for him.
this
Will
is
say-
so sad.
And now we call
Fuck, dude.
for the final event. Seraphina Lumanus, Astarius Voidwalker, and Bjorn Oldblood. You can see Bjorn, he sort of like cracks his neck back and forth, and you can see, even before descending into the water, he just sort of rolls his shoulders and his head back, and as he roars, you can see his form extend out. Giant mats of fur begin to grow, his face elongates as he shifts into his werebear form. And you can see he now stands about 12, maybe 14 feet tall. And you can see Seraphina, she just looks up and she has this grimace on her face. Similar to the way that she at sometimes would steal glances at Xanthi and Victor. A little bit of disgust at his altered nature. You can see...
She's going down to 7. Sorry, go ahead.
You can see Astarius look up, and he's perplexed. And he has a moment of revelation, and he nods, and then he turns back. Very strange reaction, not super sure about what he's doing. But you can see the three of them tie the chains. You can see Seraphina, she extends her wings, and you can see there is this golden light that illuminates her entire form. You can see Astarius doesn't do anything. He just ties the chain around one shoulder, like over the shoulder, and will begin to walk down. Bjorn will... They actually need to get more chains so he can tie it around his chest like a backpack. The two straps on the side. And then Seraphina, she is going to take... let's see here. She is going to tie it around her waist. Okay. And with that, the three of them descend. So there's a special type of stone that is triangular shaped. It has 3 sides to it. So that way there is a... And in the center, there is this sort of like mechanism that will allow the push and pull to be more even between the 3 to try and make it as balanced as possible. But with that, they descend into the water and they begin... to pull. So this is just going to be the first person to 2 wins as opposed to 2 out of 3. All right. So this is simultaneous here. Seraphina having that radiant energy pulsing within her. You can see that as Astarius gets down there and people begin to pull, you can see he just sort of closes his eyes and you can see these astral arms begin to appear out of his back and grab onto the chain and begin to pull as he just sort of closes his eyes and tries to walk back. Bjorn is leaning as far forward as possible, like he's about to die, and is just like slamming his feet into the stone, trying to walk forward. Everybody has some type of enhancement here, so what we're gonna everybody is rolling with advantage. Be sure to follow and subscribe. Okay. For Bjorn, that is going to be a 22. For Seraphina, First one, that is a 19. Starius. That is a, God, why am I so bad at math? That is a 20. 21. I should have written these down. There's too many dice. What did I say for Bjorn? 21? Nobody remembers. Okay.
22.
22.
Ah.
Okay. Okay. And
We're
what
all
did I just
trying
say
to
for
unmute.
Astarius? 20? 21?
21.
21. Okay. All right. I'm going to write these down for the next one. So you can see just barely. Seraphina is seemingly a little bit out of her depth here when it comes to pure strength. As she is pulling and pulling, the wings are flapping underwater, but these feathery wings, they're just kind of getting matted. They're not able to give the force and pressure that she needs, so she's relying entirely on this radiant energy, and it seems like it's just not enough to overpower the astral arms, but especially the monstrous werebear form. But you can see that Bjorn is definitely struggling a little bit after that initial pull, because that sapped a lot of his energy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think bears are renowned for their ability to breathe underwater. I believe. I said
Pretty sure
breathe.
bears can.
I said breathe underwater.
Oh, okay.
Breathe
I-
underwater.
Hold their breath
I'm going
underwater.
based off of SpongeBob.
Breathe,
Sea bear.
breathe underwater. I don't care about anything else. Also, has a bear, a werebear, by the way, been pulling against what is probably 1,000 pounds of pressure either way? No. The rules do not apply. Okay. Next roll.
I think they apply.
All right, Seraphina. God damn, that's good. Okay. Let me fucking write this down. Jesus Christ.
I'm also putting it in chat if that makes things easier.
Okay. 24 for Seraphina. Ooh. Astarius, that is a 7. Not very good. What the shit? Okay. And Bjorn. Ooh. Bjorn, that is an 18. So with that, Seraphina is able to after examining how the two of them are pulling back and forth, you can see Seraphina, she just plants her feet for a moment, and you can see she, from both hands, conjure these two radiant bolts of energy and slams them into the ground, and is just leaning back and is using the wings to kind of create this pressure behind her, or in front of her, so flapping the opposite way to pull her back like paddles almost. And she just begins to walk back and is able to pull and pull and pull and gain quite a bit of ground against Astarius, but does regain a little bit of ground against Bjorn. Okay. All right. Here we go, third round, Seraphina. God damn. That is going to be 25 from Seraphina. From Bjorn. Or Astarius. Astarius is second, right? Yeah, Astarius is second. Astarius is 18. And then Bjorn. Woo. That is 25 from Bjorn. Okay. That's going to be a draw right there, as Astarius is just trying to find his footing, but with Seraphina and Bjorn at the same, the challenge continues. They're not a victor, as the two of them only steal ground from Astarius. They don't steal ground from one another, and those are the two people that have won right now. So they are just pulling and pulling and pulling. Seraphina seems not to be cracking at all. Whatever divine energy is fueling her right now, it seems to heighten her ability to hold her breath. Bjorn, however, from extent after extent after extent, you can see that vigor is beginning to fade, as we are now going into round 4, one more than truthfully what any competitor right now should have to go through. Astarius, I will say Astarius does not seem to be affected by being underwater at all. He seems to have no problem being underwater. Seraphina doesn't show any signs yet, maybe some little cracks, but Bjorn is the one who's really struggling. So Bjorn is no longer making his rolls with advantage. Follow and subscribe. Okay. All right. Seraphina, that is going to be a 18. Bjorn, 14. Astarius, 21. So with that, Astarius is able to actually sort of lock in this moment, and you can see that these sort of like temporal anomalies begin to happen around him and Bjorn and Seraphina, causing the two of them to trip up a bit. Bjorn so much so where you see him almost sort of trip and fall and catch his breath, but he doesn't. He sort of falls down on all four as Astarius is able to pull and pull and pull and pull, and is able to get quite a bit of ground. And you can see now Seraphina, that golden aura around her is beginning to crack. Bjorn is on the edge. Astarius seems unaffected. It seems as though his constitution, especially in a situation like this, far surpasses theirs. So now Astarius rolls with advantage. Subscribe and follow. And Seraphina and Bjorn do not. In our final round, let's see who wins. Oh. Okay, Seraphina, that is an 8. Bjorn, that is a dirty 20. And Astarius with advantage, that is Astarius with, on the first roll, a natural 20. You can see Seraphina, she tries to conjure those bolts of radiant energy, but as she does, that golden shimmer around her begins to fade. And you can see she starts to panic, trying to keep her breath held, slamming the bars of golden light into the ground, but you can see she's unable to find her footing, and she just gets pulled forward. She doesn't end up inhaling, she doesn't end up tripping or falling, but she has to use all of her might to not embarrass herself in this moment. Uh-oh.
John lost power.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, stream, I'm over here. So... No, it's not. It's not. It's because Ryan's not here. Oh, okay.
Way to turn my camera on?
No, it won't help because everybody's on display right now. I'll just do it from here. As Astarius is, oh god, as Astarius, at least hear me out, all right, is able to cause more of those temporal anomalies to happen, and you can see Bjorn eventually ends up. He's able to gather himself, and he's able to pull and pull and pull and almost win. He's so close to crossing the line with Seraphina and with Astarius, but you can see Astarius causes these temporal anomalies to happen around Bjorn, and you can see he tries his best but ends up slipping and falling forward with that stuttering. And as he does, you can see as his chest hits the ground, there's this inhale of air from Bjorn as Astarius is able to, from there, pull and pull and pull until it crosses that line. And as the three of them rise to shore, Bjorn shrinking from that bear form so close to being victor. You can see Bjorn shrinks from bear form, or the werebear form, back to his human form, coughing up water. You can see Astarius immediately go over to Bjorn to make sure he's okay. Seraphina, she emerges and sort of shakes the water off her side. And seeing Bjorn sort of coughing up, she will also move to him to make sure he's okay. And the two of them will help Bjorn up as he sort of raises his hand. And there's a bit of a cheer that everyone made it out okay, but then Lady Marianne will say, "And our victor, Astarius of the Astral Sea." Astarius will sort of look surprised and will, sort of mimicking the other two, he will just sort of wave and give a very silent, very quiet thank you. It's so funny that I have to like crouch.
Look, I think I can actually fit in this one with you too.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
Get out! Get out!
Okay, fine.
You good kids.
So, no. So you see Seraphina. You can see there's a little bit of healing magic that she channels into Bjorn as he coughs up more of that water. And you can see he will sort of raise and give a very soft smile to the crowd, as there are a few people that Bjorn has assisted in his time here since all of you left, doing various, small quests, that are just excited to see him compete. And you see all of them take it with some amount of grace, as it was a very fair fight, and it was a very close fight. As the three of them make their way up and out, they walk out together, which is much better than some of the other victors can say. So, with that, we have our 3 victors of the second challenge. We have Valiant Aurelius, we have Victor Bloodmoon, and we have Astarius Voidwalker. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here, just to wait for John for a second, and we will be right back.
I'm also gonna read it real quick because this was atrocious. Like the entire
God.
time this event was happening, I was just cutting in and out the
No.
entire time.
Okay.
And like I'm trying to take notes on like what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just I don't know if it's my keyboard or if it's literally my computer because everything is stuttering. So I'll be right
Weird.
back.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be BRB. So that way, if there's something in the vault that, you feel like shouldn't be there, or that none of you put in there, you can go to her and you can see who put that item in there. And
Could you send us a list of all the names?
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
helpful.
yeah, I got you. And then finally, there is Dravana Windmere, who is an elf who is the steward of guest relations. So anytime guests are staying, she makes sure that the rooms are clean and proper, and that anything they need is taken care of. So if you have a Loxodon guest coming over, she'll make sure that an extra large bed is put in the room to accommodate their stature.
I mean,
I didn't
doesn't matter.
fucking need it. Fuck off. Get
Get
fucked.
fucked.
Wow.
Nice seconds level spell, loser.
Get
And
fucked.
I want to take my wind if I may.
Let her win, Joe.
Let me breeze it up.
Breeze it
Keep
up,
this fucking
breeze it
breath,
up. There you
never
go. Yeah,
breath.
Xanthi, you can feel the wind begin to compress around you, forming this shield, trying to hold you in place. But through mental fortitude and strength, this resistance to being told what to do, you break out of it, and you can see there's this impressed look on his face. He smiles. He's not taken aback. He's not in fear, but he nods and says,
That's what I expected from the likes of someone like you. Impressive.
Wish I could
Alright.
say the same to you.
+2. All right, 24.
falls off to the side.
What is going on? You rigged the game, Joe. This is some bullshit.
Merrick, dagger in. You are so focused because if you move your hand just 1 inch too much, you'll end up lifting the mechanism. You'll end up lifting the mechanism, and it'll end up setting the whole thing off anyway. And you see the dragon egg beginning to shift out of the corner of your eye, but you're so focused on what you're doing as you throw your hand up to try and catch it. The depth perception on the corner of your eye is not where it needs to be. As you end up trying to grab it, as it's already beginning to shift and fall, the egg doesn't crack or shatter. In fact, it breaks part of the stone in that sort of 4-foot drop. and Merrick. And he will give a very low bow and he'll head out.
As the door shuts. Oh, that kind of sucked.
Sun begins to set. Takes a half day to get there. 500 feet away from where the keep should be. You tie up the horses, dismount, travel by foot. Closer and closer and closer. There seems to be no sign of any life, any travel. I mean, you're so far off the road right now that it's really hard to tell that you're going in the right direction. All right, hello there, everybody. I'm back in my corner. John will not be back. His power went out, so that is definitely an issue. As it turns out, we've got about 15 minutes left before we typically end. Especially since Ryan isn't here, I think that if Ryan was here, we probably would just keep going because that's kind of our rule. Is if we're only missing one person, then we push through regardless. But right now we are missing two, sadly. So we are going to go ahead and call it there. There will be no Crimson Court next week. As next Friday is Kayla's birthday, so we're gonna be busy and probably tired on Saturday.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Happy birthday, Kayla!
Happy
For the next time we play, don't forget about your
thanks.
birthday inspiration. So,
Oh,
congratulations.
fuck yeah.
Yep. All right. With that, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I know I did. We'll see you in the next one. Oh wait, I could have just done it from Edwin's box. Anyway, all right. See you later.
Well, it's too late.
Can I give my birthday inspiration to